only the Yorkshire from Anchor 250. So looking that to the colours to miss out should be a Shin Niggle. The out there. Then Rebecca Duff, Amy Campbell, Megan McCall, and this Blackwell who was so impressive on debut last week against Middlesex. Fackrell, Jess Woolston, Claudia Cooper, and Hannah Rainey. That short guided bowler in base towards for the first boundary contest. Lovely touch shot from Amelia Oliver.
Yeah, lovely start there. I think we'll find that this outfield will be rapid, so if you can avoid the fielders, I think it'll be a reasonably high scoring game, and nice to see the tennis ball bounce.
Scored 6-5, if you can see. It's that time that's drifting down leg, bit of early shape for spot, and that Essex without Glamorgan had made 4 changes to the side that's up tree against Leicestershire to make it 4-5 in the 50 over format. Captain Lauren Parfitt, and then it's Abby Freeborn, Beth Gammon, Potter, Giraffe, Richard, and then Ladies, and the Charles and Laura from Respect, and Horse and Deborah, and mid here, just makes us come.
Yeah, them here.
Tom that. Oh yeah, sound is where when you bit of a gem. This cry. Hatching the same coffee. Then give more because sweet. Like a little bit to the English. I think well that we can do.
Yeah, and what is not is that tendency to many around the stop as a early with the
reading ball. It's up to been interesting and see Ellie's size and final steps. This knows up there like these new take competition in Yorkshire who kept by was fetching a hunting win very free for condition for the sheep screen is shoulder of 40 years 100. So favourites but
she's not the playing it with she hard and down, but she'll feel like in a funny kind of way to represent your guy.
It's on the timings and the old read set. Oliver just helps round to deep fine leg.
In the pitch, that was what I was talking about. It's almost got a tennis ball and shoulder height or just above.
There's 4 missing for Yorkshire in the 100. Club captain Lauren Winfield Hill, and then also Stare Callis, Rachel Slater, and North East, the 90 up of the Thunder. So I was by any issue with his in what gets on 5th light. The batsman is short and makes will sit shot length so away.
We'll see this reap here that Thomas did play, but the power match and just come around the very is decided to bring it from the pit and play now.
Not 13 for Benny final game just pending midfield. She's going away from just having 24
so she's got time today and to take one little further to the Yorkshire is not good.
So the 9-year-old for playing keeps the Yorkshire 32 18 in all dash space and it's just the guy in the top had 3 gloves and in Dr. Jane Powell, and she'll be joined by Aaron Vars.
Yeah, that was a good shot there from Oliver, but Alfield, you know, you sometimes have to recognise that despite the that there was that game, and that's just when you're only 17, that's where sometimes you hit it hard, but you're hitting it straight to the field. As you get a bit older, you learn to push that through the gap rather than kick it at the fielder. Big shot on the
series. Get a huge win and absolute whistle for Elvin up and down. Just having them gone and to love race as a consequence. This 8 games, not much now.
Yeah, I'm talking about what Cabin trying to do, just trying to work it to her and just playing straight down the line. And I think if she had done that, then she would have covered that rather than it was a great ball. You know, as they would be delighted with the ball. It might have turned back. So that's good for more.
Very good start. Brings her up to race. Of encouragement being offered by the Glamorgan fielders as well. Always good and early throw in this format of the game. The opposition in that period of rebuild nice and early on. Porter it is to pavilion ends. Slightly aerial there from Rebecca Duckworth as she guides that one down to hit on for 1 run.
Yeah, and a good drive down ground straight away, which meant an easing there. Oliver.
Yeah, being trouble to Porter.
She went to square. She do these on longest. That's much heavily getting to show up.
Can't get to him, can you, when he's deviating off this. Chipped up, I think the chance for Freeborn. It's right first slip. And so, in fact, it's been signalled as bye. So there was no bat on ball signalled there, but there isn't.
Yeah, we've out already. They see it's moving quite so doing close. And first slip there, just not getting anywhere, and as a result, 4 bows were added to the total.
Yep, and you can see there the reaction from Abby. She's just it's risen up. That was shots, wasn't it? It's a fantastic start to proceed. Gemma Pors had a wonderful T20 blast, was the joint 5th most economic bowler in the entire competition, and also the most economical of any bowler to bowl at least 5overs in the tournament. So, yeah, she really has had a sensational season so far for Glamorgan County Cricket Club. Basically picking up from where she left off. Format. List of because very excited in action. Get over the course of the academy. Loosely away and bolt here. Bangs it short.
Yeah, again, that significantly, and as any of the fielders or batters that are taking note of that second turn to bowl, they'll be looking at the areas that they want to bowl in to make sure that they get the best out.
That one be soft hands by Rebecca Duckworth. Will be a dot ball.
You can afford to hang around, you to check on what's out in front of the day. So that's slow Scotland batting.
Scotland to that one. That's better line. Off the face of that, another dot ball.
Yeah, she played it well, she played it down, so there's no chance there's only bouncing that there's a good point there, so that.
The point only as far as the field. Charlotte Scarborough doing the fielding on. That's a
Lizzie got a good field. I don't know how she's going to but from there, she's trying to make sure that she's slightly short from in on.
Absolutely one of the shots he hits. Weetwood playing
quite outside. No, she made a good shot. She had to 2,000 off summer. That's always injured, but there's a day now because she shot a million of a wicket to a foot.
Yeah, that was a way to step from Herod. As continues to spell from Billion End, giving that one plain fleet.
Don't you say good is that they will probably so than they are with it in the whip. They just don't need more.
Reporter again looking to extract a little bit of turn. The only in this Glamorgan is someone else who to Poppy Walker. Again in the fight looking to drift back in the off stump of Oliver.
But he's no big deal actually kept and really well. It's interesting.
With a lot just high off it forms gives chase and the slip there is not
each direct and to just direct it down hills with quite hard then to chill.
And his job so he ought to do is 9 and less. One at the face at midnight about a bit on. There is a reaction there. That is a real area.
And the problem is as an officer people that's even so they are by get with the pass out over on the legs as officer now you play it well, it's great, but if you don't then you can you and you because etc.
It also mentioned the fifth or polling Oxton time to new other stuff stuff we could trust on through the center because the fillers on the bad whip and work.
Yeah, we always have that.
Again, takes the pace, play through the covers, it will be in the ball.
This just waits out and it's a stop time, you can't run of him.
Away off the leg. Using the scoreboard being long. Yeah, you've so much time.
Big the good point we're doing since you have some played a lot of
but it's solid for the first time plays that we did in the R run.
Certainly playing the team as well. It's the transition period we know as well.
Yeah, it's sit up. Yeah, so watch out in that I'm looking back for one it immediately position from hips and half over there. I can
so you've been bowling 4 of us now you got in the guys we had to try and as nice forwards.
Then over to a wobbly with everyone bowling pavilions. Telling us Rebecca is back in the well to try to bring forward. Ever so was one of the formers in the area of two hangs the right hat point. Wasn't run outs and in the end privileged about in the start here up it's back of some Abbey finish or through. Unfortunately for more the of Sim Garson Yorkshire for 2.
Actually me right away. Just giving it a shot and the miss would be possible could have made that and she's still a bit she's still quite a bit because know if she's going she'll be able to take to not takes the bail off.
The balls left is a clock each so really it's unfortunate missile or 3 a bit of a rebuild who real bit but an alternative Glamorgan exit the Stars would have already Smith.
Yeah, sure and play that at the sure and those 2 quick and the youngsters mirrors oh just silly.
A budget between 2 both has plenty of other behind bank full of season. This is it has to be the question of an order. Friendly is the leading guy in the answer with each compared to her from Oxland bowling here chasing the 6 by Duck Gemma can't give Bethan 2 in the opposite free pair of hands so keeps it in that worth like the button done for the row. And current yeah free pair of Warren here were difficult looking at the field of course we are still in those overs. I feel loud on the kick shots of a lit fit for them from the onside. Fine on the play new for the on the buzz. Duckworth down, or run.
Yeah, the moment and just chance and concludes that.
We get the 2 here at Weetwood. The whoops red line is shining. Look, it was a very famous last in the UK.
He does this one home 150 mile away, but it's bright and good.
He does support here to me ward, similar to Vertu. For those who inch free, if he coming on Josh Dooner, he would hang spawning its run.
In Miami, I think there's just zip code. Turned and it would have missed leg stump, but again a good ball from Porter, and that's the type of circumspection I'm talking about. Is don't sort of leave a gap between bat and pad.
So far, Maddie Ward is heeding that advice, Jane.
Yes, I'm not sure advice, but it's just a thing that hard today.
Still time for awesome Alex. Totally died with it. How here? So we can come to your Vertu. We'll have the chat with some words of wisdom courtesy of Dr. Jane Powell and on in my place. Familiar.
Yeah, good start. I'm going to head up in the play. We funded the tennis. So that's what the primary birth.
The range that make up the looking at slightly on foot. Now D2.
Yeah, physical damage try on with Maddie Ward and just make sure that she builds up her innings to make it.
Bench pushing back. She does have an ability to play all the unconventional shots, all the sweeps and the ramps and the scoops and anything. He does have signs to play off that.
And what do here is not still play within. So can you see instead of saying it back to bowl, we're here and just in space.
Goes. It's a 5-4 on. Excellent.
Yeah, and that's the type of over that I'm talking about, where you're not playing with intent, you're not looking for where the singles are, and then you have a maiden, and that just gives the fielding side, the bowling side, a lot more confidence to just keep bowling where they're bowling, suddenly on a little bit more just pendulum swing in favour of the bowling team.
Yes, so far, it's got 1 for 7 off her 5 overs within the blast. Full lights you've seen from that first ball. She's in some ways a bit of an alter stubble. It's going to be easy chin up. Just one of that's turn.
Yeah, no, that one's quite difficult behind the bite. Or
trying to work just on back up with pick keeping weight and her. That one she's top Gene the longest time on the coming out half field. Right,
doesn't look like Yorkshire are going away from it.
Duckworth comes down the track, gets this out to deep mid wicket for 1. Oh yeah, the scoreboard situation and already the couple that Reed's got to turn a fair bit in this over. She should definitely have a slip. She had it in by the end of it, so 33 for 2 off 12 then. Scoreboard is a little bit stuck for Yorkshire at the moment since the loss of that second wicket. Just 2 runs have been added from 28 balls since Oliver was run out to the second ball of the 8th over. So just sense a pressure is definitely building here with that sheer number of dots. Jackson continuing. She's only gone for 2 from her 3 overs, but this is going to go for 5 wides. Slings it down leg, and Parfitt standing up to the stumps didn't really have a chance of stopping that. So a bonus 5 for Yorkshire.
Yeah, very much a bonus 5, and very frustrating as a fielding team, because what you've done there is just gifted 5 runs to the batting team, which is not what you would be wanting.
So it's the first time has gone to the boundary since the loss of that second wicket. Jackson back on her line and length here. Just guided away by Duckworth for adult Rebecca Duckworth, whose best format you would say is 50 over cricket, and Yorkshire really need her to show that here. She got a 51 in a thrilling Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy win for the Diamonds against the Vipers at Headingley last September. that really demonstrates. She's flicking off here, and Duckworth with a traditional shot, just using the pace of Jackson against her. Touching away for Dubsay.
Yeah, and that very solid shot, you know, he's going to be away again on it, but just like just hit the runs, and suddenly there's the double, which is what they'll
That one's guided by first. Produced 9 already. Just damaged Jack Figures. And before he's good at you, a cutter and a slope. Duckworth again. Expecting what is a good ball.
He did back well in these last 2 balls. She's tightened up her line, tightened up her line. Very difficult to the ball away when you do that, so all credit to her that she's tightened that up.
Back to extra kind of stuff if any CC. So when you do it in a follow the win squad, more from us. That amount of full owner Porter and Kimmy, and then you're out into current professionals. So those 3 to 4 are Abby Freeble on loan at Yorkshire, copy of Century Eds, counted by these. The pair who've died from this MR both on one wins against Leicestershire. Just to remind you of how things look overall. Glamorgan sits second, 5 wins, 6 wins from 5 minutes, to a 4th. Of position on net run is back and is doing straight from war. Henton's in everybody once. Numbers to flow into from the 6th of September. Get home to the line 2. So I think that's the 1 2 coming in boundary from Bobby Walker on May's 4th. 14th of September. Down the ground. That's clever footwork from Duck on bowl. Mentioned it's something she's got on over and rack spin. She does great for that.
Yeah, if he got the picture of the ball and drove it straight back down the ground. Lovely shot, heads it back through straight, and she looks back into that point. As she try to do that every ball, knowing the bowler's there, of bringing it back a little and pulling a little bit.
From down slap, intending to leave it straight to on. Battle here on against Nicky, known as the Joker and the trickster of the Glamorgan team. This time Duckworth goes inside out, plays a nice looking drive to the left of mid-off for 1. Nicole Reid, who works as a radiographer. Of course, Glamorgan very much not full-time, apart from the players that they have borrowed from Tier 1 sides full-time. As mentioned, they're allowed 3 of those per game. 49 for 2 off 14. Have a change up here in the commentary box. Excellence replacing excellence. Dr. Jane Powell will take a well-earned break, and stepping into the seat alongside me, delighted to have the company of Glamorgan head coach Rachel Priest. Her side hunt a 3rd wicket. Duckworth pushing that into the offside. Very good morning.
Morning, how you going?
You must be pretty pleased with what you've seen so far after Yorkshire won toss, chose to bat. 49 for 2 in the 15th.
Yeah, really pleased. The girls are going well.
Duckworth just cutting that straight to point where Freeborn does the fielding, and with the overall season so far as well, reached a semi-final in the Blast, only knocked out in the County Cup by Lancashire of Tier 1. Duckworth just guides that away, and in this format sat second coming into today, 4 wins from 5. Given what a big effort it was going at Glamorgan over the win, you'd have taken that.
Absolutely, yeah. Probably exceed some expectations.
Duckworth then just a ton something of a real 70th that is unfamiliar. Rachel, once upon a time, just the 162 appearance music. That's flicked straight to short wicket. It's in the most English signal possible. Away from New Plymouth right now.
And it feels like we go those innings.
Singing to the coaching line.
Yeah, on the end of it for sure.
This is flicked to a squad 1 because I have it you were lost from 22 town then. Let's say.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I played a little bit of cricket and stuff.
And talk about for Morgan over the winter because I was chatting head of women's cricket, the official one, out the people going, being built with Boston and Yorkshire, playing from then the act just spread out in 2027.
Yeah, look, you know, the club as a whole aims at a hell of a lot of thing happening, and the tour was really busy for the girls, and the way that we've been going this season and how much work they've achieved with her.
Be back for a third of 2 on 7s, no fear to quite the leg spinner who's wing of the iron. She certainly does that. Came the percent played another to let 7s come down a bit big. So ring race with mid on 1-2. Somehow it's all match you up the half century of Yorkshire. More time to come back time, that was still edge. Game by someone like Cole, working as a radiographer, just how much trade contact is there through those people really curious?
Yeah, so he takes from Sinners, so with them for hours weekends. They went to Longton, at least trained, we try and fit in a game around there. Yeah.
comes down, it doesn't get all excited. And did not in play here. Be through which it's some bold read. She can probably walk short of it. Ash has her first win on Ward in a to the legs ball. It definitely got some turn on it.
Yeah, she does turn it. I think the bet just got stuck here, and I think the way that Reedy's ended up over to it, so really good for just goes about and is a simple bowler. She seems to cause most people a bit of trouble.
Yeah, 2 for 22 against Leicestershire last Saturday. Captain Wells as well at under 17 level. She's someone who's been in that Wells pathway since 2000. Won't surprise too many of you to know what plenty of these Glamorgan players have been through over that Wells pathway. We see it again. Plenty of flight and definitely spin there as well. Definitely some turn in the wicking up from Porter and Reed. The ground staff had told me they thought it would. Bit of a spin. And Yorkshire's in a bit of trouble. Out comes Amy Campbell. She's not on strike because they'll keep final ball with the over. When she gets on strike, that's going to be foul. She had the high shiny batter to competition. She's got one high strike rate. Don't want to go to her. Her base will be to counter attack and go after this. That will make for fascinating viewing when we get there. But for now, Worth is facing up to be looking at that's nib away inside young York. In both of these teams, a relatively young Julie that tag at 17. Sharp again in the semi-final. But Chris that time is awkward. It's been cleverly as well. Just stroking from the commentary box. Yeah, it's like must be a bit of there.
Yeah, she's really determined as a cricket.
Come down the trace on previously against Reed. Good football and clip.
Pop is usually is always for the challenge. Set for 4. She's had a chip for her. With the determination and will, and she's very huge.
Just as that worth has been warded. He not even when a blast day use 16 on 2. That's did that against Sussex. Kicking away, short wicket. Shot ball.
Yeah, I think look back and she's so winning. It was very rare.
That was pushing away for no one this time. 5-3 of 17 as quickly. So now Campbell's on to strike for the first time. It will be intriguing to see how she plays things. Now Rachel Priest alongside Glamorgan head coach won't thank me for reminding her, but the last time Amy Campbell faced Glamorgan, she came out with a run chase that Glamorgan's spinners in particular had worked really hard to make very awkward for Yorkshire. And then in the blink of an eye, Amy made it very easy. She matched 10, which when she's there when she wants to close it. That's where they do all their stuff. Means that broad look to go after it. The little cat thinks Mitchell or slip. He's off on British from Reed. Yeah, it's a fire carry. Flick it upward. That box opening on down on high. That edge, the reacts felt like all the hands that the keep very out. Definitely encouraging signs for Reed. She's put deep extra cover out after that shot. So we're from the game. Reed making sort of here. It's going to ribble a freeborn will be in play. Will be his part. Mistake from Joffit in this took it a little low. That's one down to long on. Yeah, good can sometimes be tricky to keep that. You got that in front of you also. Quite got underweight and off the mark with that prod. This time comes down the track and hits it hard and clean down the ground. It's behind the side screen. Sure, first boundary of the inning for Kimball. No real caught and bowl chance there. He would with her. Finish all of those caught and bowls. And this time, and that one out sort through wide up. Well, outside in the short, and Campbell is going to catch it. It's going to make a Kylie she's out there.
She's taking the well to live change now, so hopefully she will give a chance.
That will sit down that raw. Choosing for one last it's been a discussion in tier 2. I was chatting to Amy Rees, your head of cricket, about it. I think it's safe to say, in Amy's own words, Glamorgan have used it more than anybody else. That rough guides that into the offside, but there's a particular set of circumstances and reasons for that in terms of both competition and player development.
Yeah, look, we want to be competitive in all the competitions we play this season. and being, experienced because and Will has obviously with that. We want our players to look at winners like to be on a winning team, and like Davis is really good at players who doesn't see what that is like. We obviously have cricket in 22nd, so
it's just like another little bit one more time. Stranger things have happened.
Absolutely. Look, we've the lone people sometime that have gone a go.
Sad away. That's a poor ball. It's just a bit too short. She picked up the length really quickly, and Amy Campbell just helps it round the corner for 4 more.
And so it's a good chance for us to have a look at them, for them to have a look at our program, look, we're going to have to recruit some people, so it's always nice to actually see them in your environment and get to see them how they operate on a game day and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and recruitment, as anyone who's actually done it in sport knows, rather than looking from the outside, it's easier said than done. As Campbell sweeps hard, straight at deep backward square for 1, particularly because with the nature of the changeover, a heck of a lot of players in Tier 1 are actually on two-year contracts as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things that we'll sort of have to deal with, and hopefully there'll, be some players that are off contract and willing to move.
If it's that straight at mid-off. The one positive of that, of course, is that a lot of those 2-year contracts expire in 2026, which potentially provides a window of opportunity for Glamorgan. 79 for 3 off 19. Just on that, for those unfamiliar, Yorkshire will join Tier 1 in 2026, and Glamorgan will join in 2027. I know for now your coaching contract is this summer, but I would assume there's an intent for that to potentially become a longer term thing.
Yeah, hopefully. Look, this season's gone well, but I think whatever the club decides when it becomes professional is up to them. But it's been really special to be part of something from the start, and having played for Wales, I have that connection to the place. So, look, I'm really enjoying it at the moment, and we'll just see what happens in the future.
Yeah, I was just about to say you're sort of an honorary Welsh lass, is it fair to say?
Hopefully,
there's a bit of the bit of the daffodil in there from
absolutely. I loved
that.
My time playing for Wales. It's a great team to play for and a great player to represent.
Reid into Campbell, who's unlikely to back down, and he's pulling it straight out to deep mid wicket for 1, 80 for 3. Rachel Priest, once upon a time, Wales' first overseas signing back in 2018. Now Glamorgan are pointing at the stumps. Is she hit wicket? Campbell hit the ball out to deep mid wicket. We're going to need this just with the stumps here. Yeah, she has. Yeah, stumps and umpires are together. What would be good to get that? But yeah, Campbell's walking. Campbell is out in slightly curious, and it's for Yorkshire's bitter. It's good for player of doubts. Slightly curious, so I know almost from the click of the stump back here and in the ground as you now lead the ball down the other end for 1. There's a moment I got what's going to be here? This is Mo. Now we'll spend just there. It can be one the other end.
As strange as it is.
9 for 4 then.
To be honest.
Yeah, Amy Campbell on her day can take a game away counter attacker. So as it so often does, we just on the rebuild. Campbell on from for 15 kills, featuring now Simon. That's the bit from Duckworth back onto strike. Duff becomes all table to roll is ready now to angry in this. She has been off 56. All from made half of the dance. He just comes down. What is go down? Just suit me us for more. And put it out. 80 for 5. Duckworth coming down in a bit of a tank. From me. It didn't match.
Yeah, good stuff.
Just a little early there, Duckworth. It's excellent. Like it's dip. She would start with though. Not shot down the pitch, but it's always an element of risk in it. So that is on 50 balls, and now up to the top and awaiting just skill is Blackburn and McCall played us against Jews or captain. This is the opportunity she's your first to see the after in for Scotland plays in her ice. By made a take this set we acted very well. Ness speed 34 in run days Middlesex to take on for 10 wins for a 60 beat of Yoga. Good into the covers. Rachel Priest is going to grab a bit of water for a gremlin that's in her throat, as Reid will have to re-bowl that one. Glamorgan so far this season with 11 wins, 5 losses and a no result, which is a pretty good overall record. That's guided to the offside, and that managed to build a four. The start was set. It looked like it was just a push, but it just going and going from Blackwell. Didn't try and hit it too hard. It's a lovely touch shot to get her account off the mark with a boundary. Just next to me, hoping Rachel Priest is okay. Just getting too excited from the ball. Taking too many wickets.
Are you happy with fielding? I think the girls got a bit confused there.
Yeah, I was
Lack
a bit
of communication, I think.
That's this time guided straight to extra cover. Yeah, I was a little bit confused. I replayed, didn't fully catch it as to how it burst through there. 85 for 5 then off 19. I was just saying while you were grabbing some water, Morgan so far this season with 11 wins, 5 losses and a no result. Yorkshire with 15 wins from 19, and both sides' records factored into that 1 defeat against Tier 1 opposition in the newly created Knockout County Cup. So 2 sides, of course, that Yorkshire next season, Glamorgan the season after, will be in Tier 1. 2 sides that overall have had seasons where they've comfortably got a winning record. Now Walker continuing. There's going to be more flight and temptation for these two. Not easy to face good quality leg spin when you've just come out there. That is certainly good quality leg spin. You keep an eye out. Bottom windowed out in the semi-final last weekend, taking on the oranges. We've been that most much. So you want to cut. Don't like to tell the full story. Was back there. So they're looking a little summer. You might see her. I really it's the core.
That was the good.
Yeah, I certainly can't pick it necessarily away, but Rachel Priest, with all of her experience, certainly can. There's umpires just calling.
It was a head knock, I think.
I see. It's just raised. Just raised the mandatory. Just have to be good. Need to back to another thing that Amy mentioned, was the content helpful of being women's program joint mid-deads. They dream of guard with which is a women's team like a mediums away during which women's dressing room, some club team, which 100 people. But if the women's can stay with that with Gloucestershire, it's safe to say that in quite a short, a lot.
I've been incredibly lucky. Might say that, but it does been there. A lot of that is pushed for us, to have to be as well where we. So look and which is our when we're there, and things have been upgraded. Some shock, the women and a bit of a some real awesome shots of girls, and just feels out, and they're not put the girls up all there at the grid. And yes, absolutely amazed double head.
Chitching corner. Yeah, Spades like it's net pat roads user.
Yeah, absolutely, and as you see, the Hulk has been letting everyone's goal and really interested in the girl going. So I feel like we're his home and by one.
So another is and time in just the steam just off onto the dumps. One of those dismissals where the speed's taking it on, sure bowled by Walker. And
I think, yeah.
And with things for not we do have coming not give it a looks like a beauty of ball free walk.
Yeah, going crazy. I think for her to have a little bit more experience, have 2 leg spinners bowling is really exciting for us, and for us now. So looking.
Experienced older hands in this short. We needed to have the best thing, but it's certainly capable. Around for quite a while. To vote Lancashire Thunder in the KS. That's how far. With that goes for Birmingham Phoenix in the 100 in previous seasons as well. 87 for 6 off 20. She's out there with McCall. And those two got to try and get Yorkshire kind of a score. It's of Walker because she is Zach Glamorgan, but she's most certainly not Welsh. She's nearly product of the World Academy, and that's an interesting thing as well that we'll come on to. Some readers in starting a new over. Clever paddle sweep. There's no cover behind square on the leg side, so big chases. Keeping it to a 2 from McCall. Glamorgan being a ship Steve was saying this essentially if a young girl you're halfway getting into your prime.
Yeah, look, I've done it once this game was set up. She put a lot of work into building partnerships and really close partnerships with Gloucester, and it's what we've found really good as there.
That one would look at that sweep shot again. A short leg is on the full one. Again from Glamorgan's point of view, it's like talent there, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Way that Vertu's going out more professional, people are going to have to maybe go from counting a back day and was set up. You just played for you on one, it was fine, but
there, one chance from Don. Well, tried to bring the hit to National would have been home. Seems way not like always most of the time you can do like this, but you've seen it somewhere to go through. That really throw.
No, it is now.
quick Laffy. He doesn't use them too often. That's the change up.
It's been nice this week. She's doing well to be awake here, to be honest.
Well, that's just down the yes, other letters radio reflects other chat. Haven't had it. So corrupt wicket. So if they got fourth, Langton, Winfield, or Batsman, sort of got fend like. They say they are on me to it, other so to one that is those route that almost changeable with the quick or tier side that the more players have to be to, but you're not paying and still in on
yeah. We're very all there. They enter and the on the ice, but so hard for them.
The community of one didn't really have forces in it. Extraordinary to get on such a short space of time as Walker's game to extra cover.
I think that was it. Was just under Wales bad names. Yeah, I think many years getting of it just switched over to Morgan going forward. But yeah, it was under the.
And it's also like we've got backgammon working in the EP programs. That's the type of thing that people don't really see, but the scenes. Backgammon is playing for Glamorgan and is one of their stars. Got through a boundary for Yorkshire. It will be a much needed boundary for Yorkshire. So Thackrell gets a 100 rings.
That would be better than she won't be at fielding. She'll be teaching your players that. Incredible restful. But yeah, it's really nice girls to have a player that's playing now, coaching them. They can see what you taste it. So Gno's been working incredibly hard to bring on our.
She's been stacking up runs.
She has.
That time Thackrell goes back. The type of people to like this. Yeah, you will just like this again. We're back in the stretch as well. This shift Glamorgan, but a 4-figure crowd, 1,100 in the first ever women's blast game at Sevens. Was a win in glorious south of a couple of good friends with Glamorgan. Truly, they were lifting. And was it Lemon Sound moment with the console?
Yeah, you would like together and spend time to the game.
And that's all from catch on.
Maybe to some people it was longer than I've ever played off. And it was a day to by Gardens look at real them to look at fast. It was not
perhaps a selection of a team on it
not really today for us in it really.
Thackrell just quite real big receiver and slow if I'm right, that's a is prevention flat had been out on the thing so much I appreciate the score was one off excellent and brought if you can wait some good fade on 20 feet line for the stat like behind dot aim out to floor of an S that Rory eye that's that's cricking is larger set regarding it's also in the scout to keep it very good actions ounce.
Hi, Mike. Morning, politicians here at Weetwood.
Needing a bill. What if we win toss using back behind it pretty tricky. And I think he's always pulled out of the shot to chip up Porton Bell.
Yeah, this wasn't custom to that.
So it was hard to keep the wicket for 1. Ball moves on to 7.
Yeah, need a kick-start thing. Come on, and we'll let this on that. Steve's trying to put on it.
This time just tapping in offside.
And beating on the back foot and waiting for the bad ball to come out. There's not much coming through as well from the lack of pace. I think Yorkshire have a few wickets too many at this stage.
Yeah, you're a bit of action. 103 for 6 off 25 overs home side. After this, Jess Woolston, Campbell 22 and also last Saturday. And then it's seam bowler on day and a Rennie needed to try and scramble Yorkshire up. You will hit off and
I think the players did not Yorkshire state like the week there. You lost at the level.
Rose Evans and Katie Cobb also make way. 2 in for Yorkshire. Megan McCall and Hannah Rainey, both Scotland internationals, both on debut. And Olivia Thomas with shin niggle. And the young 16-year-old seam bowler Amelia Love are the two to have made way for the home side. Reminder of Glamorgan's campaign so far in this competition, which had 3 rounds of it played in April and early May. Glamorgan won by 53 runs against Sussex at home. They then lost in a close one by 11 runs against Middlesex, who of course went on to win the Vitality Women's Tier 2 Blast at finals day 2 weeks ago. Middlesex currently top of this competition with 5 wins from 5. But to Glamorgan's great credit, they've won all of their other 50 over games that weren't against Middlesex, having lost that tight contest against the London outfit. They beat Gloucestershire by 227 runs on the 3rd of May, and then they won on the 15th of May by 9 wickets against Derbyshire pretty comfortably. And when 50 over cricket resumed last Saturday, Glamorgan quickly found their mojo, winners by 125 runs against Leicestershire. Warwickshire lonely Abby Freeborn with 108 not out on debut, as they piled up 261 for 5, and then skittled Leicestershire for 136. So Glamorgan don't just have 4 wins from 5, but it won't surprise you to know their net run rate from all of that is very good. Their net run rate is just over +2, which is pretty whoppingly big. For context, Northants sit at 1.3, Yorkshire sit at 1.8, and then Worcestershire, who round off the top 4, sit at 0.6. Middlesex have actually got slightly less good net run rate to Glamorgan, but they're still just above that +2 mark, and Middlesex, of course, top with 5 wins from 5. Porter's back on after drinks and is being nudged into the onside for a quick single. McCall moves on to 8. Gemma Porter's first spell today was excellent. Porter, one of 4 loanees playing for Glamorgan today. She is on loan from Warwickshire, 22-year-old. And she is the 4th that can play because she's an academy player. You can have an unlimited number of academy loanees, and then 3 loanees who are on full-time professional contracts in Tier 1 as Thackrell works this away for 1.
That explains the reason why Rachel Priest was not leaving her chair, Michael. Although she was sitting here with you and she had got 6 Yorkshire wickets while she was here.
Well, I think so. She took, if this is how you view commentary, she took 4. She came on with Yorkshire 2 down. She joined me in the 12th over, and across her spell in the seat alongside me, Yorkshire added 55 runs or so for 4 wickets in about 14 overs. So I think it's safe to say, if you believe in good luck charms as a co-commentator, she certainly was. Goes on the reverse. Great shot from McCall. Connected with that really well. It's a relatively rare bit of genuine aggression from a Yorkshire batter to any of the Glamorgan spinners across the last hour. It's well executed. There's no one behind square on the offside, and it's 4 runs.
Nice shot that. I think good to see a batter, taking the bull by its horns, as you like, making sure they're staying positive. This was a shot nicely played and executed, McCall. It's a debut innings, and she's looking stronger as every ball that she's playing. Good to see.
She's someone with a 50 in women's one-day internationals. Megan McCall from Arbroath, currently living in Edinburgh, but the first club was Arbroath Cricket Club. She has a 50 in both T20I and ODI formats for Scotland, so this is a capable all-rounder. Yorkshire desperately needs some runs out of her. She's going back and nibbling away.
That's what I like to see as well, Michael. She understood the length wasn't there for her to step out and drive. Just goes back a bit, knocks it around between square leg and mid easy single. I think that should be the order of the day so far for the next batters coming in. It's like Ryan on the singles hard. I'd look at every opportunity to get some runs. At the moment, 110 for 6 in 26 overs. There are 24 good overs remaining. And even if they get 2-3 singles and over, add about 70-80 runs to the odd boundary, we could be nearing 200. And near that would be a good score for Yorkshire.
We'll get a few more thoughts from Maroof Khan, and then he'll be joined by Aaron Vars.
110 for 6. Yorkshire and a bit of spot of ball there. Looking to make a fight back as I welcome in the very Aaron Vars.
Thank you very much, Maroof. Yeah, nice to be back. Of course, would be even nicer if Yorkshire can get a decent total from here on out. 110 for 6 currently here at Weetwood. Been some top bowling though, especially from Nicole Reid. Already has 3 wickets to her name. Plenty of flight on that one as McCall goes for the big shot down the ground. Yeah, it has been trial by spin, hasn't it, so far from a Yorkshire perspective. Glamorgan, of course, having plenty of spin options, one of whom we're seeing right now in Poppy Walker. Walker it is to continue as McCall goes for the reverse. There's a peel for caught behind and given. Well, it was a cheeky, audacious shot that's from Megan McCall. And an excellent bit of glove work from Georgia Parfitt behind the stumps, sees the back of the Yorkshire newcomer, and the White Rose have lost a 7th wicket here at Weetwood. Maroof, what did you make of that? Some experts.
I was about to say, I think she had to be careful with the reverse sweep, purely because bowls the ball. Nice flighted ball. Sweep, ball just pops up a bit, hits the glove really, and I think a good take by the keeper as well. I think to see that kind of deflection, on and all, a 17-year-old at the moment taking her 4th wicket in the 7th over. That is, I think, good bowling.
It is, yep. 2nd wicket for Poppy Walker. Jess Woolston comes out into the middle.
Stand corrected. I was looking at somebody else's speed there to apologise. You're right. It's 5.3 overs, 2 for 22. That is good. Poppy Walker. For that age, a girl who's showing me enough out there in terms of control of line and length. And she has built the pressure. Looks like she has a wrong one as well. I think I vaguely saw it when I was just watching the first 10 overs of the game when she came on to bowl. But at this stage, it's good to see a youngster, taking the attack, and Yorkshire in a bit of trouble. 110 for 7.
Yep, it's a pretty difficult position to be in. As Walker continues here, this time to Jess Woolston. Woolston goes upish on the attempt through the covers, where Bethan Gammon is lurking. Of course, as well, the other thing to remember, it is a little bit windy here. There is a cross breeze at Weetwood, so the fact that she's landing it with such consistency really is remarkable. Woolston looks to work that one down towards mid-wicket. Of course, Walker will be in the Super Fours competition at Loughborough in this upcoming week as well, representing the South, along with Katie Cobb. Here she's bowling to Woolston again. Just ricochets into the foot there of the Glamorgan leg spinner. And that is the end of a very, very impressive over. Yorkshire 110 for 7 here after 27 overs. We just get a little bit of a panning shot. Had a couple of planes go overhead. Only thing that I would say at the moment, Maroof, as you can see there from the conditions overhead, the sun, unfortunately, has begun to just creep behind the clouds. It's not as warm as it once was.
Typical Yorkshire summer day, I think. Quite windy. If you like the wind, it's a good place to be, unlike me, which I stay right clear of the wind. I'm trying to get myself a couple of jumpers and jackets on as well, but I'm still feeling cold. Having said that, Yorkshire need to rebuild right here. Just like the weather, it's unpredictable, so can the innings be. And if they can stitch up a partnership, that could be good going.
Yeah, partnerships. It's the word of the day, isn't it? As Gemma Porter bowls here too.
And good to see Gemma Porter just putting in on the stop, and she has taken the new ball. She had 5 over spell, 7 runs in 1 wicket, comes back and is right on the spot again, asking good questions to the batter.
Yep, she is. Fackrell being put under a bit of pressure here, a little bit of bounce on that one. So very, very positive field as well, of course. We're no longer in those first 10 overs, but it's a pretty similar field to what we saw earlier on. Slip very much in play. As Fackrell just put off by, I think, a little bit of movement behind the bowler's arm. There is. We're just waiting for the spectators to wander on by. I think that the players are happy now. Indeed they are. So take 2 of that one. Porter here to Ria Fackrell as Fackrell whips that away through to deep mid-wicket for 1.
The traditional way for an off-spinner to bowl, especially with the ball is turning and bouncing, is making the batter play a cover drive, really. It's hard to do so if you're not on top of the ball, and I think as we see here as well, the right questions being asked, and the batters are reluctant to use their feet, so they're waiting for the bad balls being on the back foot, right there.
Well, that one is played off the back foot. It's something that I spoke about with Jane a little bit earlier on, because we spoke about the presence of a deep backward square leg and a deep mid-wicket, looking for the batters to play the cut shot and the cover drive, exactly as you just mentioned. Plenty of flight on that one from Porter, attempted to be worked down the ground there by Jess Woolston for no run.
Also important to understand that the batter, when they use the feet, they hit the ball as soon as it bounces. Don't allow the ball to bounce and turn a bit, then you can have a missed shot, really.
Porter zips that one in. It's gone straight up in the air. Simple caught and bowled. And Yorkshire have lost their 8th. A fantastic bit of variation shown there from Gemma Porter. She gets her 2nd wicket of the game. And now the White Rose staring down the barrel of what could be a pretty lowly innings total.
Yes, interesting passive play again. I think the batters, I'm not sure whether they're communicating that, but I think the ball is stopping and coming, and if they're not to the pitch of the ball, they can be there can be some thoughts coming in their mind that they need to play this shot and the other. But in this way, it looks like she just stopped the shot halfway, something like a pre-warm-up routine of a catch practice.
Well, just see the replay here. Slightly shorter length, isn't it, from Porter on that occasion? And it is the bounce. It's that additional degree of bounce off the surface, which in the end is the undoing there of Jess Walston.
And look at the way she's adjusting to the wind as well. Turn and bounce, and also anticipating the catch coming her way. She was ready for it if it was coming that way. Excited that she's got that wicket, but I think she's bowled well to deserve that.
Yep, she certainly has. Bowled very, very well indeed, and you can say that. I know we've spoken about batting partnerships being very important, but bowling partnerships as well, bowling in tandem, someone tying up an end, generating pressure, and we're seeing that from both ends at the moment. We're going to see some more of Poppy Walker from the Oxley Hall end, but Gemma Porter has essentially tied down the pavilion end. It's been so difficult to score off of her bowling, and that's allowed for the likes of Nicole Reid and the aforementioned Walker to really get into their stride and go ultra aggressive stump to stump. Here is Walker to Thackrell. Good take behind the stumps again from Georgia Parfitt. Of course, she'll be very confident after that smart piece of keeping to dismiss the newcomer Megan McCall. How does Thackrell play the leg spin from here? Well, that one short wide, attempted to be flayed through backward point. A little bit of a misfield there from Eve Jackson. Allows for the single to be taken.
Glamorgan can work this two ways now. One is just wait and make sure that they're putting enough pressure on the batters to make mistakes, or they can attack a bit, and I would like to see Walker have a slip here. Ball's turning and bouncing.
Here is Walker to the newcomer, Claudie Cooper, the Yorkshire number 10. Well, of course, we've just seen that from this end, haven't we, where we are in the commentary position. Abby Freeborn in at first slip, so I do wonder if that's something we could see. On again, short, wide and punished. That one is racing away over the practice wickets, and that will be 4 runs. Excellent shot that from Claudie Cooper. Just releases the pressure, doesn't it, for the home side?
Yeah, bad ball that, not enough energy on it. I think Claudie was waiting to see what's coming her way. See the ball a little bit short, uses the feet nicely, comes across the line of the ball. Good fast hands between the gap for good shot for 4 runs.
It was a very, very good shot that from Cooper. How does Walker respond after that? Or brings those stumps into play, tightens up the line. It's a good riposte that. Always like to see that from any spin bowler, young or old. After a boundary ball, how do you respond? And in that scenario, Poppy's done a very good job.
Yeah, that's good bowling again. No, one bad ball, comes back, tightens it up the line again, asking the batter the right questions to see if we have the energy and the courage to go over the top. And at this stage, the two bowlers have bowled 7 overs each and taken 4 wickets for the team as well collectively, which I think is enough to put pressure on Yorkshire. And 116 for 8 at the 29th over. It's all Glamorgan as we speak.
Yep, certainly is. So it will be Porter to continue from the pavilion ends. No surprises there. She's done a quite simply magnificent job. Bowling up first here to Ria Thackrell. Giving that plenty of flight, beats the outside edge, and that is again a top delivery for any off-spinner.
And good length as well. Asking the questions to make the drive. And I think it's a difficult shot to play on this wicket where the ball's stopping and coming as well. And a bit of bounce.
Certainly is that one. Just short enough to be cut. It's a good diving stop there at backward point. Thackrell thinks about coming back for a second, but can't do so.
What I would like to see here, Aaron, is the Yorkshire batters having a chat with each other as well, keeping that momentum going.
Porter here to Cooper. Cooper goes inside out over cover. That is a glorious shot. Takes a few bounces up towards the trees, and Claudie Cooper, I'll tell you what, she's playing some glorious shots here at Weetwood so far. A couple of boundaries and very, very well struck ones.
That ball went about 100 yards, to be honest. That's a great shot, that. Putting come in, watch for the flight, waited for it, used the hands above extra cover. That's a good cricket shot.
That's a wonderful strike that from Claudie Cooper. Very well placed as well, of course, with this field. You've got Bethan Gammon in at a catching cover. But there is a little bit of a gap between where mid-off and that cover fielder are. So it's just a case of whether or not you're brave enough to take on the shot. And of course, if you do miscue it, you are gambling your wicket.
Good bowling by Porter as well. Again, she said that, if you're good enough to play that shot again, go and show that to me. And she's keeping that line there. It is a good, brave cricket.
Of course, at this time, that is edged and put down, I think, or either way, it's racing down towards the boundary. It won't be cut off. I'd love to see a replay of that one. That really flashed off the edge of the bat. Would have been a difficult chance, wouldn't it, for Abby Freeborn. Gemma Porter causing all sorts of issues. Here it is, a little bit of extra bounce. Does Freeborn get there? No, she doesn't. Good effort in the end, that from the Bears low knee.
It's also good to see Porter using the wind as well. The ball just slided away with the angle, bat hanging out. Oh, just. I would take it as a drop chance, that one.
That was very close, really close. Balls here, finishes off very well indeed with a dot ball. So that is the end of over number 30. Yorkshire 124 for 8, and Gemma Porter continues to impress. 2 for 24 from her 8 overs so far.
That's right. I think, when Yorkshire won the toss, that was the last thing on their mind, was to lose so many early wickets. I think Glamorgan have done well in terms of asking to come and bowl the overs here. Just building pressure, really, Aaron. They're not, they're not bowling miracle balls. They're just pulling the balls on the dot and asking Yorkshire batters to take chances and play them shots. And as we say, Poppy Walker comes in again, another spell, and I think the both of the girls would finish their spells.
Well, here is Walker to Fackrell, slightly off the under edge, just beats the effort of Georgia Parfitt behind the stumps. Chase on for the fielder, gathering a little bit of momentum, but will be gathered by Nicole Reid. Cuts it down to 2 runs. Just take a look at it here. It's not a chance. There's absolutely no way that you're getting into a position to take a grab there, but even so, some good backing up in the field by Nicole Reid, putting on the afterburners. Every run at this stage, though, for the White Rose, absolutely crucial. As Fackrell looks to play that one down the ground, only as far as mid-on for no run.
Good brave bowling, again, flighting the ball. If Fackrell is hitting, she's hitting with the wind. The ball will carry in and gather momentum. So, good cat and mouse cricket once again.
One keeping slightly low compared to the shot that Fackrell was looking to play, and after that she demonstrates what she wanted to do with the shot. But it's courageous bowling, this. Really good to see from a young leg spinner who just backs their skills. And Walker's done that all season long. Gives that plenty of flight down a wide line. Umpire happy with the direction of that one. Of course, this is something to mention as well. Walker was Glamorgan's 3rd leading wicket taker in the T20 Blast. Had a really good campaign, economy rate under 7 runs per over. Again, giving that plenty of flight, and Fackrell obliges, whips it over the top. A couple of bounces down towards the spectators in front of the trees. Well, that was disdainful from Rhea Fackrell.
Rhea Fackrell said, "I've had enough of this." The ball completely had ice on it before it came down, and the way she slapped it over mid-on, good powerful shot making, that building in some confidence there, Fackrell.
Yep, no change in the field as of yet. Whether Walker goes for a similar degree of flight, we'll see. Well, hurries that one on a little bit more, and there's a bit of a misfield. Unfortunate that for Glamorgan, but it does spiral away for 4 runs, so it's back-to-back boundaries off the bat of Rhea Fackrell, and a good way for Yorkshire to round out the 31st over.
And the windy conditions here is telling me that the outfield is quite fast as well, Aaron. If you see the way the balls, if they clear the infield, the ball seems to run away quite quickly to the fence.
Yeah, it has, especially on the other side of the ground as well, where you've got those practice wickets. It does seem to gather a little bit of pace and velocity. So, no, I think that is a fair observation. It is a pretty fast outfield, and it's pristine, isn't it? How Weetwood is kept the outfield. really is nice. Had a little bit of a walk in it earlier on and just feels nice under feet. So no surprises that the ball is skipping away.
And I guess at this stage, the way the game is meandering about, I think it's very important for Glamorgan to keep the discipline. They have considered a few boundaries, and that's bound to happen in a long game of 50 overs. Very important to make sure that they keep the discipline and be patient, and do what they've been doing right for the last 8 wickets that they have got. Keeping the same energy, and I think the captain at this stage can communicate with the players to say there's nothing wrong in this, and make sure we are all in it together and have build up enough dot balls again to see if that can build more pressure to get some wickets. For the Yorkshire, on the other hand, just keep doing what they're doing now. They've got about 20 odd quick runs in the last 3 or 4 overs, and long it may continue.
Yeah, that was the point I was just about to make. This partnership already 24 runs for the 9th wicket, so good going. That one slightly down the leg side from Scott, turned around the corner. Slight bit of a fumble in the outfield, but no damage done for the visitors. 1 run conceded it is.
Be my eyes, but I haven't seen Lizzie or Scott bowl much this season. Did she had any injury doubts, or is she coming back from a long layoff?
Well, she's played the 1 game for Durham, and that was on the 30th of July. So before that, of course, we're used to seeing her play quite frequently for the Northern Diamonds in the previous setup, but yeah, only the 1 game in 2025 so far. So for her as well, it's a great way to get back into your groove. And to be honest, I think she's bowled well today. Yeah. As of all of the Glamorgan players. I mean, when you look at the economy rates, you look at the wickets column from the spinners especially, has been a good start this. And for Lizzie, she's just looking for that first wicket of the day. Here she is bowling to Fackrell, made a real crack off the bat. There's only 1 outcome from that shot, and that is 4 runs. Ruthless from Rhea Fackrell.
That kind of an action tells me that she generally gets the ball into the right-hand batter. My eyes, but I think she's bowling from the wrong end. If that's the case, the wind is blowing away from her. A little short ball. She started off a bit in a cell as well. There's enough in this wicket that if she pitches the ball up, she may get good opportunities to take that first wicket that's eluded her so far.
Well, it is interesting you mention that, because one of Scott's go-to weapons in the locker is the swing, especially the in-swinger back into the right-handers. Bowling here overcorrects, and it's just helped on its way around the corner. Chase on for the fielder. Can she cut it off? I think she has. That's a really top-tier stop out there. It might be... No, it's just these Porters in front of us here in the commentary position, but that is a very good stop. Yeah, on that occasion, just overcorrected, didn't she? With line after that short and wide one was punished.
That's correct, and also the wind is pushing her as well, so I think she'll be doing and hit the ball on the spot.
Short again, just on its way out to deep square leg. Easy single taken by Rhea Fackrell. Eve Jackson doing the fielding on that occasion. Keeps the scoreboard moving along, and the partnership continues to tick along nicely as well. This is what the White Rose need. 32 runs between these two already. That one a full toss. It has just been nicked beyond the effort of Georgia Parfitt. Races away down towards that tree line at the Oxley Hall end, and 4 more runs, this time off the bat of Claudie Cooper. It was a back-of-the-hand slower ball attempted. Just whisks away, doesn't it, off the outside edge of the bat. And 4 more welcome runs as Yorkshire approach the 150 here. It's been a good riposte from these two. Scott this time tightens up the line, just shovelled around the corner out towards deep backward square leg for another single. Tell you what as well, Rufa, something to just speak about is the intent here from Claudie Cooper. It's been very refreshing, hasn't it? She's been aggressive against both seam and spin. That was the end of the 32nd. Yorkshire 148 for 8, but she's almost been the ideal foil, hasn't she, for Rhea Fackrell? And now we're seeing that almost go on to Fackrell's game as well.
And I think Claudia has got good skill sets around her. She's quite stable and well balanced when she's batting as well. Throws a hand at it. Generally, if you have a batter who is quite balanced at the point of contact, will make good contacts and get runs. And at this point in time, she's already batting on 17 with 10 balls, really. So striking at over on a ball. And scoreboard pressure would mount. Glamorgan would have had them 110 for 8. It shows, as you see, as soon as we've conceded 20, 30 odd runs, the spinners have left it, and we've got the medium pacers back on to put some block on the run. So, yes, momentum could shift as long as this partnership continues to grow.
Very good point. It is Eve Jackson here. That one wide and flayed away, and an excellent catch at backward points. Really good stuff that from Poppy Walker. And a 9th wicket does fall. We spoke about the positive intent of Claudie Cooper. And in the end, that unfortunately has been her downfall. A good partnership that between Fackrell and Cooper. It ends on 37. And Yorkshire now 148 for 9 here in the 33rd over.
And nothing short, really, if you ask me. I think the way I was looking at it, she saw width. And she looked to really... could have done more in terms of throwing the bat harder. Bat foot was not moving, but yeah, the ball didn't come onto the bat, to be honest. It was a little slow, so good catch in the end as well.
Really good catch, and Poppy Walker continues to impress here at Weetwood. Just seeing the replay of that one, safe as houses. So we're going to see for the first time this season in a Yorkshire shirt the new signing, Hannah Rainey. Excited to see what Hannah can do with the ball this season, and of course seeing her for the first time in a Yorkshire shirt with the bat in hand. Got a job to do here, of course. We spoke about the home side approaching that 150.
Yeah, and she has experience on herself as well, so she would have realised what's expected of her. There are still 18 more overs to go, Aaron. Looks like another T20 match can be played on that amount of overs that are remaining. So I guess it'll be exciting for her, Anna, as well, because it's her first game for Yorkshire. At Weetwood, a good place to have a debut. But I think at this point in time, looking to just make sure making contact and staying there for the team.
Well, that one upish, it just spirals away. There's a chase on for 3 Glamorgan fielders, but the ball was always going to win that one. So 150 is brought up for the White Rose. They move on to 152 for 9, and how about that in the scorebook for Hannah Rainey, your first ball as a Yorkshire cricketer, and you're striking at 400.
I think she'll tell her friends about it as well, that I say and I smashed it. Didn't realise that it was first ball 4 striking at 400. We need more of those runs.
Absolutely, more of the same, please, Hannah. I think that'll be the chat out in the middle. Of course, someone of Rhea Fackrell's experience, though, currently on 30, she'll have those words of encouragement and wisdom. Have no doubt about that, as Jackson bowls here. Smart take that from Georgia Parfitt. You can just see as well with Eve Jackson, there's even more energy with all of these deliveries now. She is looking to basically put the cherry on top of the cake here for Glamorgan. Got her first wicket in this over and looking to double that one and finish things off as Rainey tries to fish at that one outside the off stump. Again, well taken by Parfitt.
Just observing a bit more here, Michael, I think the girls are happy to stay on the back foot, especially on this wicket. I think that's been the order of play. Girls are reluctant to go forward a bit.
It's almost a carbon copy of the last one, slightly wider, and another good take from Georgia Parfitt. So that is the end of over number 33. Yorkshire 152 for 9. Rhea Fackrell out there on 30. The newcomer Hannah Rainey on 4, having struck her first delivery as a Yorkshire cricketer for 4 runs. So still work to be done between these two. It's been a good vanguard action, though, especially between the aforementioned Claudie Cooper and Rhea Fackrell, but your fancy on this wicket, Maroof, to what I think would be a hero or the home side.
If you're there, they get 2 overs, other one today, I think if they don't see 5, happy if they 110 for 8. But I think 2 few runs on this Weetwood wicket need more runs, and they need this.
Certainly do. That hammered away by Rickrell will only be 1 run, fielded by Charlotte Scott. Deep hit for her 4th wicket. The greenhouse down here for Kelly.
She has played that, created this downhill. She started the bucket of wicket structure.
Here she is bowling to Hannah Rainey. Goes for the sweep shot. Yeah, completely agree with that. Got the huge wickets of Rebecca Duckworth, Maddie Ward, and of course Amy Campbell as well, who up until that point had hit those 3 big boundaries and looked in ominous form. Reed bowls here to Rainey, plays that off the back foot down towards Porter for no run.
And I think, for a change, I saw Amy Campbell start off quite quickly as well. I thought, it could be her day because she was hitting boundaries.
Plenty of flight there from Nicole Reed, looking to induce the outside edge there of the right-handed Rainey's bat. Rainey again goes for the sweep, this time down the leg side, and that one will be given as an extra by the umpire.
Every run is gold dust now. Aaron, every run is gold dust. And I think Yorkshire just needs to hang in there, make a match and have a fight for it.
That one outside the off stump, punch through the covers. That is a wonderful shot from Hannah Rainey. It's gone for 4. Assertive, I think, would be the description of that one. Played that with great confidence as we see the replay of it. Slightly short. It was the conventional leg spinner from Nicole Reed, and read like a book there from the Yorkshire number 11.
And the only way Hannah Reid knows is hit boundaries, really. She's got 8 runs and with 2 boundaries. But yeah, that's right. A little short in my book. I think I would like her to pitch the ball a little more up and hopefully try and buy that wicket if she can.
Well, let's see, that one is pitched up a little bit fuller. Work to be done there by Bethan Gammon, who does well to find a footing. End of the 34th. Yorkshire 158 for 9 with Fackrell on 31, and Hannah Rainey, as you said, Maroof, back-to-back boundaries with those 8 runs, or I should say consecutive boundaries with regards to run-scoring shots, and she's on 8. Partnership already building up to 10.
Yes, and I think communication is important here, Aaron. And I want the batters to communicate that, build in partnerships of 2 runs, 5 runs, 10 runs, get as close as possible. Looking at the outfield, it is a fast outfield, so Yorkshire needs a bit more runs in the bank, really.
Here is Jackson to continue from the Oxley Hall end. Frackrell attempts to drive that one through the covers. And
that's my kind of a bowling. I like that areas that she's bowled. She's asking the questions. The keeper's up. There is a wideish third man, which is right on the 30-yard circle. So this is bowling to a field and in the right areas.
Well, Jackson it is to Fackrell. Just guides that along the turf out towards Scarborough's deep point for 1 run.
Fackrell trusts Rainey. Typically in the olden days, there would be a batter taking strike on the first 4 balls and trying to rotate in the last 5, but she trusts Rainey and she's taking the run on the second ball, which is good to see.
Well, that one, pace taken off and driven as straight as an arrow. It's bisected the fielders, and Hannah Rainey, 3 boundaries scored already. I imagine there'll be a little bit of a conversation as the Yorkshire pair have a little bit of a word together, but surely a promotion needed at this stage.
Looks like she told Fackrell what's the fuss all about here. I think the ball's coming nicely under the bat and I'm just timing it and punching the 4 whenever I feel like. So she's had 12 runs with 3 boundaries.
3 different shots as well. Rainey this time rocks onto the back foot. Yeah, it would be a very pleasing wagon wheel, that, wouldn't it? Punched one through the covers, one straight down the ground, and then the cut shot down towards deep backward point. Wow, really has been a good start this from Hannah Rainey, of course. Looking forward to watching her with the ball in hand a little bit later on. This one again is attempted to be caressed through the point region. A good stop there from Charlotte Scarborough. Restricts it to a dot ball.
Interesting passage of play as well. Glamorgan looking to finish it off early, trying to get the wickets. Yorkshire trying to build a partnership and put a fight up.
Good defensive shot that from Hannah Rainey. Well, I think it is an important point as we see the end of the 35th over. Yorkshire 163 for 9, Rainey on 12 and Fackrell on 32. Partnership now has already moved on to 15. Let's say you can go a couple of runs per over from here, just bat out your 50 overs, and you are looking almost at a touch upon 190, 195. So it is a big difference, and it goes to show the importance of batting for time at certain points in a 50 over innings, because there's a big difference between a score in the 160s and a score in the 190s, especially if you can pick up some early wickets.
That's right, Aaron. Also, momentum is the key word.
Yep. As Reed continues her spell from the pavilion ends. Shoveled around the corner there by Fackrell, who runs the first one hard, but Jackson does the fielding, so will just be a single.
And what I mean by momentum is being 110 for 8 and then finishing off at 210 all out. Suddenly Glamorgan will feel that they've missed the bus here for a while as well. So then Yorkshire would build that into their bowling department as well.
Here is Reed, plenty of flights. A whisker away, you can see the reaction of the Glamorgan fielders. Lauren Barfitt, the captain, could not believe that had missed. That one again, big appeal. Nothing given. Targeting the leg stump, we'll see a replay of this one. Nicole Reed looking very dangerous from this end of the grounds.
Ooh. Interesting. Maybe a bit of more bounce on that ball really, but I think very, very clever bowling there as well. Asking the right questions. And Reed understands that, one wicket could finish it off for Yorkshire. Fights it again.
Well, it comes off the under edge, just nutmegs Parfitt behind the stumps, allows the Yorkshire pair to scamper through for the quick single. That's frustrating as a keeper. You can't do anything about that. You just can't. It's the one shot which you can't really prepare for, but yeah, still goes for the run in the end. Let's read a little bit flatter with trajectory. Taking on the arm here of Bethan Gammon. That's some good running between Rainey and Fackrell. Positive intent, good approach.
Good approach, still 3 to 4 runs in that over as well, and they haven't taken much risk. And that should be the order of play for Yorkshire girls at the moment. They need to make sure the women's side, they just keep building pressure. 2 and 3 runs, it adds up. Once the score goes past 175, 180, Glamorgan would feel that there's too much in this wicket for them. Can they do that, etc. as well? So I think it's all about batting the time and making sure they're batting there for the last ball of the 50th over.
Yeah, it's so important, isn't it? And it goes back to momentum as well. The fact is you can really generate a lot of momentum by batting out your 50 overs and getting up to a substantial score. We saw that with Middlesex as we've got a change of bowling here from the Oxley Hall end. Let's see a bit of Emma Marlowe for the first time today, of course, facing off against her former county. Starts off well by testing the bat there of Ria Fackrell for the dot ball. Gives that plenty of flight, driven on the up there by Fackrell down towards a wideish mid-off for no run.
Good strong action that I like that, what Emma's doing, and she's bowling from the right area as well. The wind might not assist the ball coming down to the batter, but
really is beginning to howl, isn't it? We can hear the metal railing rattling alongside us.
Looks like the two of us are sitting on a mountaintop somewhere. But no, we are in Weetwood. We are in the best day that Yorkshire can provide us today. And Yorkshire girls are in it with a fight.
Yep, they are. And this is a good test, isn't it? To be honest, if they can get up to a decent score from here, just gives you a little bit of encouragement heading into the run chase as Rainey again forced onto the defensive.
Ball still turning and bouncing, and if you pitch it up, it's moving as well. So there's enough in this wicket to build pressure.
It certainly is, as Marlowe here gives that a bit of flight, flashed away towards backward point. Slight bit of a misfield there from Poppy Walker. Allows for Yorkshire to get the additional single. I'll tell you what, I've been ever so impressed with Hannah Rainey in terms of how she's gone about this innings. It's been a real mix of finesse, power and defensive shots. It's been a real confident innings, this, from the number 11. It's Marlowe. Loopy outside the off stump.
And also, it looks like she's a bit of a calming influence as well. Really, do you say that of a batter coming in at number 11? But she seemed to have calmed things a lot, and in fact, it seems more assertive now. And the conversation they're having is as of players who've been, having a 100-run partnership, really, so which is good to see. And I think the body language is also very crucial here. And I think if you look at Glamorgan girls now as well, there's not much noise, there's not much voice coming through, etc. They think they've considered too many runs. All this adds up to the crescendo of where we are looking at. And I think Yorkshire just need to build 3 runs in the previous over and 3 runs again. They would be happy with that.
Here is Reid to continue, this time to the aforementioned Rainey. Flat bats that one down towards Lauren Parfitt. Little bit of a misfield there from the Glamorgan captain, and Rhea Fackrell alerts to the single there, and that right there is the body language and the intent.
Absolutely. Pounce on anything you have a chance on. Don't take too many risks. Just keep building scoreboard pressure.
Most definitely. Reid here to Fackrell, utilising the back foot to good effect there. And of course, this is just frustrating, isn't it, for a bowling unit, regardless of the format, when you see that last wicket partnership building already into the 20s now as a loopy leg spinner just beats the shot there of Rhea Fackrell. It does, I'm not going to say it plants the seed of doubt, because at this stage, if Yorkshire are to get out for less than 180, Glamorgan will definitely fancy their chances, but you just feel as though, we could have got them out a little bit quicker. Well, big appeal there for Reid. I think the angle would have taken that one down. We'll see the replay of that one shortly, but I think that was your gut reaction as well.
Yeah,
Maroof.
I felt it pitched outside leg as well, maybe. Yeah, definitely pitched outside leg, so beyond that, nothing much can be said.
Here is Reid again, that one a lot flatter. Almost induces the outside edge there, and Parfitt was there to prevent it from going for any further runs.
Reid looking to buy a wicket here, really giving it some lot of air on the last few balls.
Yeah, doing a very good job here, and look at the turn on that one. Oh, that's a delivery to make any leg spinner up and down the country ooh and ah and just revel in the magnificence. Let's take a look at this one.
Good energy through the ball. Gibbs in the air, pops, pitches, bounce, turns and bounce. Wow. Great hands by the keeper as well. Good cricket all round.
Yeah, big fan of that. Big fan of that delivery. Great way to round out the 38th over. Yorkshire 169 for 9. So just the 1 run conceded, but the partnership continues to tick along. 21 now for the last wicket.
Still 66 balls remaining in this game. That is a lot of balls. And half of those runs, 30 runs, Yorkshire will take it over 200.
Well, here is Marlowe to continue. Rainey looks to open up the arms and take on mid-off, but slightly mistimes the shot on that occasion. Still, though, so impressed. Currently on 15 is Hannah Rainey. This time again, looks to just smoke that one down the ground. Good fielding off her own bowling there, though, from Emma Marlowe.
And good percentage shot as well by Rainey. She's playing with the spin. She's not trying to hit anything across.
That one, plenty of flight, tries to crack that one through the covers, but only as far as Eve Jackson in there at short cover. This time plays it on the front foot. Good defensive shot that, and realistically I know we've spoken about the stroke making of Rainey so far and those 3 boundaries, but all she has to do is just play her shots and survive. Just get as many runs as you possibly can at this stage, and I think she's done a really, really top job. And I think that Rhea Fackrell at the other end, as you mentioned, Maroof, there's a lot of trust out there in the middle between these two.
And I think that shows as well. That is a very good over and very well played as well. I think in the end, 6 good balls. They could not get a run. Still 60 balls left in this game. And this is where Yorkshire girls need to just chat amongst themselves and build runs with 2s and 5s that I talk about, because that scoreboard pressure is always going to be unknown. I think it's also important for Glamorgan not to lose the patience and discipline, what they want to do. They still need to make sure how they're going to get the next wicket, which is important, which is the last one. And sometimes also be wary of not trying too hard for that. They just have to let the game come to them, and at times just put and keep creating pressure by making as many dot balls as possible.
100%, yeah. It is a trap which I think teams up and down the country and across the world fall into from time to time, and it's searching for wickets because you really want to finish the innings in style as Poppy Walker comes on for her 9th over of the game. Bowling here to Ria Fackrell, starts off with a wide. Yeah, what have you made of Poppy's performance so far? I mean, before this, over 2 for 37, includes a maiden over as well. I mean, she really has been someone to watch out for.
I was about to say good things before this ball, but I will. I think I like what I see in her. She's just about 17. I think she will get stronger. She'll grow into the role, but she does have accuracy on her side. A little slow for my liking, but I think she'll develop that as she gets stronger and bigger in terms of strength and conditioning.
Yeah, as that shot is whisked away towards deep cover point for a single.
She looks to be a bowler who understands her skill sets and can bowl to a field as well, and not afraid to try variations. I believe she has a wrong one as well, and I think that action, it's a very simple, very repetitive action.
Certainly is. Sweep shot attempted there by Rainey. A little bit of a muted appeal by Parfitt behind the stumps, but umpire unmoved.
Using the wind as well. I think this wind, this area that she's bowling right now, the wind is going to drift that ball away as well. So it might be interesting to see if she tries to change the angle of attack.
Bowling here to Rainey again. Tries to carve that away off the back foot. Will be a dot ball. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely attest to the potency of the googly. That's something, or the wrong, and depending on your terminology. Really has utilised that to fantastic effect in the T20 blast, and that one has gone straight through, and that will be the end of the first innings here at Weetwood. Yorkshire dismissed for 172 runs. Poppy Walker gets her third wicket of the game, and I tell you what, that has been a very impressive bowling display from Glamorgan here in Leeds so far.
That's the googly I was talking about. I think if we can have a look at that replay, I generally believe that ball pitched and came back in. The way she dropped that left shoulder, yeah, it looks to me that's googly.
Yeah, back of the hand googly.
Oh, that turned
straight into middle stump. That is absolutely phenomenal. So, yep, that is the equation then for Glamorgan. 173 to win from their 300 deliveries. We'll have the innings break here at Weetwood, but just before we say goodbye, Ruth, for the first innings, 173 as the target. Who do you think will be the happier of the two sides at this point?
Definitely Glamorgan at this stage, because Yorkshire decided to win the toss and put some pressure on with the runs. Didn't quite work out that way. The start wasn't great. Still left 10 overs short of where they would like to have finished, but still 170 runs. If Yorkshire get quick early wickets for Glamorgan, there might be a good, the word P word, the pressure will come across, and I think it'll be interesting watch to see. But the outfield is quick. The ball is going to fly off the ring as well. So in and all, it all depends upon the first 10 overs that Glamorgan have to face against Yorkshire.
That's a very good point. And of course, we've seen spin really take effect on this wickets. Of course, Yorkshire have the likes of Ria Fackrell and Claudie Cooper to throw into the mix as well. So, yeah, this one should be a good game, folks. So we'll have a quick break here on Yorkshire TV for the next 25 minutes or so. And when we return, we'll be providing you live action of the run chase as Glamorgan look to cement their top two spots by chasing down a target of 173 runs.
battle 170 for Glamorgan. Eventually, final stage. From 6 by that point, they've gotten in the finals of this competition. She's looking to make it 4 wins from 6 with victory here. And Jess Woolston, who bowled magnificently against Middlesex last Saturday at Headingley, is going to look to continue where she left off there. And starts off in a very good area. Woolston, who took 5 for 45 against Middlesex, ultimately in defeat. Delighted to have your company once again. I'm Michael McCann, and alongside me, to my delight, in the afternoon sunshine, is Yorkshire President Dr. Jane Powell.
Good afternoon to everybody. Yeah, I've been to get my coat and now the sun's shining.
That's Murphy's Law. Woolston with that awkward action bowling beyond the perpendicular that caused Middlesex's batters so many problems. He's just nudged into the onside for 1 by Lauren Parfitt, Glamorgan's captain. And that brings on to strike another player who'll be very key in this run chase, which is Abby Freeborn. Now, Freeborn already has whacked an unbeaten half-century on this ground to dump Yorkshire out of the newly created Knockout County Cup. That was in the quarter-finals, what feels like a long time ago now. Back in May, can be very destructive at the top of the order. That's in all the right spots from Woolston. It's a very experienced top 4 for the visitors that we'd expect would also include the Durham Aloni, Emma Marlowe, and Beth and Gammon.
It's interesting, isn't it, that Yorkshire started with the seamer, as they would always do. The most effective bowlers for Glamorgan in the first innings were all spinners, so it'll be interesting to see who gets the ball at the other end as well.
Well, finding the inside edge of Freeborn's bat there is Woolston. Yeah, Gemma Porter opened from our end of the ground, the pavilion end. So Morgan opened with spin, and we saw 4 overs of Lizzie Scott of seam. She went for 33. Jackson bowled some nice tight seam for 7 overs, but 30 of the 40 overs that Glamorgan bowled were spin. It was predominantly a diet of spin. That time Freeborn is just guiding that into the offside.
Yeah, and Jess Woolston bowling a nice tight line and length here, and bowling that heavy length that doesn't allow Abby Freeborn the space to swing her arms. I think Freeborn is very good at anything wide and short, but struggles with the ball on a length and up into the body.
Yeah, to use a technical term, she often absolutely murders short pitch bowling, Abby Freeborn. That's just a little wider from Woolston and a little too full, and Freeborn can get her hands through that and guide it away down to deep backward point for 4. First boundary of the reply.
Yeah, good shot here. Not much foot movement, but just let her hands hit through the ball, and as a result it flew backwards of point. There was a fielder, but it went underneath her and out to the boundary for 4.
Yeah, 5 without loss from the first over then. Required run rate just hovering around 3.4, so that's nothing for Glamorgan to be concerned about. This is in some ways almost a bit of an old school game. It's kind of runs versus wickets. Some senses. Now, Yorkshire's debutant, one of 2 in the lineup today, is ready to bowl her first ball. Hannah Rainey missed out last week against Middlesex due to a niggle, so it's had to bide her time in waiting to get a chance to bowl her first ball in senior competitive colours for the White Rose. So that just dribbles away into the onside. Now, I mentioned the runs that Freeborn got against Yorkshire in that County Cup fixture. Hannah Rainey was playing that day on loan for Warwickshire against Yorkshire. She got Lauren Winfield Hill out, caught at point, driving an outswinger, and she took 1 for 15 from her 4 overs.
She's certainly got that first one to wobble a bit, as they say, so be interesting once she gets into a groove, how much she gets some movement from the ball.
This time into the pads, just searching for that early radar is Rainey. Dribbles away for one more. Hannah Rainey, who thoroughly experienced. She got her 50th cap for Scotland in April 2025. That includes some games that weren't T20Is or ODIs. She was part of the Scotland squad in One Day International World Cup qualification at the start of the 2025 summer. You'd expect there's every chance she'll be part of the squad as part of T20 World Cup qualification this coming winter in Nepal in January 2026, as that maybe keeps a little bit low. That's well bowled, and it's got a look of uncertainty from the captain, Lauren Parfitt.
Yeah, that one skidded through a little bit compared to what we've seen most of the day. Is the ball has lifted on a number of occasions, but this one just seemed to skid through a little bit in comparison.
Rainey chasing that first Yorkshire wicket. That's a good leave. Do you hear people say that there are only two types of leave? But another perspective on it is that any leave is good. It's just sometimes good for different people.
Yeah, true.
And that was a well-judged one from Lauren Parfitt, who's got time on her side here. Nibbled away, quick single, looked a little bit dicey, but they managed to scurry through for one. 8 without loss, just in front of that fielder at short mid-wicket.
Yeah, this is where the bowler needs to be supported by the fielders, and if you're in saving one, then you need to save one. And I think sometimes fielders in general can be on their heels instead of on their toes, moving in as Rainey comes in once more. Bit fuller, and a slight play and a miss there. And I say slight, I'm not sure. I think it was Freeborn was trying to play for an angle down to third man and missed the ball.
Yeah, she likes to use that space. She's someone that very often likes to get leg side of the ball, Abby Freeborn. She scores a lot of runs in that area behind square on the offside, right through to kind of point region. And it was her and Davina Perrin who put Yorkshire to the sword in that One Day Cup quarter-final. One Day Cup, that County Cup quarter-final here. Seeing off Yorkshire, seeing the Bears to a 10-wicket win. That's back from the Oxley Hall end. It's Jess Woolston. It's jabbed into her own pad by Lauren Parfitt. You sense early breakthroughs particularly key here for Yorkshire.
Yeah, and Jess Woolston's bowling in some good areas, and all she needs to do is to either nip it away or get it to evade the bat and the pad of the batter. She comes once more, and that's played out to mid-wicket, but straight to the fielder at short mid-wicket, and there's no run there.
Reminder of the format here. 10 teams in this league, everybody plays everyone once. Top 4 go through to the semi-finals. Top 2 get home semi-finals. 1 hosts 4, 2 hosts 3. On the 6th of September, the final on the 14th. Oh, that's really nice from Woolston. A troubling channel for Parfitt.
Yeah, I don't think that missed the bat by very much, especially with the reaction of the players out there. And Parfitt, once she missed it, then went to rehearse the shot again, which is always a sign that I wasn't quite in the right place there to actually manoeuvre the ball to get any runs.
That's a more authoritative stroke from Lauren Parfitt, who's been in the runs this season in both formats, and that's also a front foot no ball from Woolston.
She bowled a couple of no balls last week when she picked up 5 wickets, so she's just overstretching at the moment. She just needs to pull it back a little bit, trust her action to do the business.
Guided away through the covers, straight to Thomas. Parfitt and Freeborn just settling into things early doors. Freeborn with a best of 75 not out of 60 in the blast this season, and that was against one of Glamorgan's toughest opponents in Middlesex, who they won against once, lost against once in their journey to eventual semi-final defeat against Yorkshire. Oh, that's a huge swipe and a miss. That's a ball that deserved a little bit more respect than it got. End of the third over, 8 without loss.
Yeah, and you'll see here that Jess Woolston's just keeping it in that corridor of uncertainty, as they say. And that didn't miss the stumps by very much. It cut back after it had passed the stumps, and so the stumps remained standing.
Let's see a good smattering of spectators in here, spread out across the ground on what is a relatively pleasant day for it, and no sign of rain at all, which you love to see. We've had a pretty lucky summer with the weather. You might say that I'm tempting the weather gods, but they've been pretty kind to us. Rainy continuing. Back of a length, just worked away through square leg. Rainy just will want to maybe guilty of bowling a little too straight here. Is definitely getting shape with that outswing. Just settling into a rhythm. You wouldn't blame her for being nervous either. On debut, you've had to wait to get to bowl. Did produce a handy contribution with the bat, adding 15. That's nicely.
So much the left. The previous one was just around with the pace. All the ball just very much fuller, and it was difficult for Parfitt to get away.
Short and pulled down the ground, pulled for 4. Shot of real authority from Lauren Parfitt with this slightly slow pitch. The ball just sat up to be hit.
Yeah, it was very short, and she could have chosen to put that wherever she liked. She chose to go straight back down the ground and clear 4 runs.
Her first boundary. Now eyeing more, but instead having to respond to a good reply by Hannah Rainey. Both batters finding the boundary then so far. Glamorgan haven't got to worry too much about scoreboard pressure. The big pressure Yorkshire can bring in this run chase is from taking wickets, with total on the lower side of things to defend. That's just worked away for 1 more. We've got a result to bring you elsewhere, which is pretty extraordinary to have a game that's not only finished, but it's actually been finished for a little while. Albeit it was a game that saw top in action against bottom. Middlesex are 6 wins from 6 now. They've rolled the Derbyshire Falcons very comfortably. That's gone away for what will be 5 wides. Well, this is bonus runs for Glamorgan, and not what Yorkshire need, particularly with the new ball. Rainey just straying.
Yeah, that was a little bit wide, and it just bounced in front of Maddie Ward, who couldn't collect it, and as a result 5 wides, and that's the last thing you need to be giving away when you've only got a small total on the board. You'll need to respond quickly here.
That's a much better ball and better length from Hannah Rainey. Do let us know in the YouTube live chat where you're watching from. Fantastic to have your company wherever you are across the world. 4 overs gone, and the most expensive over of the innings so far sees Glamorgan on to 19 without loss.
Yeah, that's a good solid start at the moment for Glamorgan, but 1 or 2 wickets could change that quite quickly, and that's what Yorkshire have to persevere for. Whenever you look at a scoreboard, they always say add 2 wickets, and if they could nick off 2 of them in the next couple of overs, that would really start to change things around. Jess Walston coming in, and that's driven backwards of point for 4 runs. It's not easy to chase anything on this outfield, which is immaculate, and it runs away very quickly.
Yorkshire, you may remember, doing well to recover just to really get something to bowl at. They were in really dire straits at one point when Rachel Priest was on commentary of yours truly. Wickets were falling very frequently. It was 87 for 6. It was also 111 for 8. 61 added for the last 2 wickets. Toss and flicked out to deep square leg for 1. Question will be for Captain Maddie Ward, Yorkshire's 20-year-old skipper, Yorkshire's youngest men's or women's skipper in 100 years. At what point do you look to something else? At what point do you maybe think of getting spin into the action with the likes of Claudia Cooper, Ria Thackrell? No Olivia Thomas today, that is a loss for Yorkshire. There's Megan McCall, though, on debut.
Yeah, I think I'd be tempted to bring on the spin quite early. They need to try and break this partnership. At the moment, whilst they're as dominant as they be, playing missing, they are carrying this along quite nicely at 24 in the 5th over. They'll try something different. We've seen the spin bowling is on this pitch.
Perfectly here. Well, it's deep square leg, but 3 guys between 2. Find on.
Well, we could do more out there. To realise this area you have to step even high.
Oh, that's a much better delivery from Walston, and he's unlucky to not find the edge of Parfitt's bat. It's a start that Glamorgan would have been absolutely delighted with, helped by 8 extras after 5 overs. They're 20 without loss.
We're going to carry on with this.
Yeah, we're moving, so you can more than understand it. So should not be so much. You've got Horse Rainey looking to find something. So much better delivery from Hannah Rainey. Bowling to Abby Freeborn on loan. In her second game for Glamorgan, she made 108 not out against Leicestershire at Neath on the 2nd of August on debut. Keeper from Eastbourne, went to Loughborough Uni, initially a product of the Sussex pathway, but best known for her time with Sparks and then Warwickshire. She's threaded that through the gap at point. That's classic Freeborn, stays leg side of the ball and then just times it beautifully. It's all in the hands and then looks so smooth and rhythmic. So Abby Freeborn gets 4 more and Yorkshire have got some questions to answer.
They have, and I just believe that Abby Freeborn is much happier with the quicker bowlers, even though she's played and missed a few times, because she can just manoeuvre the ball with the pace that the bowler is putting on the ball, rather than having to move her feet to a spin bowler.
This is Castle. This could well. Will back to boundary 4. You can see from that replay, someone that just uses the hands so well outside off stump through that area. Abby Freeborn, I highlighted it a few overs ago as something to keep an eye on, and you saw it in those 2 shots. So Ward is going to change the field now with Rainey. A deep backward point is going out. Square leg is coming across, the slip is coming out, so Field changes from a 5-4 to a 6-3 to a 5-4. How does Rainey adjust her line? Straighter as you might expect. It's well dug out by Freeborn. End of the 6th over. 37 without loss after 6. After some more thoughts from Dr. Jane Powell, she'll be joined by Aaron Viles.
I think there's one ball left in the over, but that was a much better ball from Rainey, and it was length rather than line there that really Freeborn had to try and just stop from going onto the pads. So as Rainey comes in for the final ball of the 6th over. And that's just defended. Oops, we can't count. There's another ball there.
It's the never-ending 6th over. Pleasure to be back alongside you, Jane. Yeah, 37 without loss here for Glamorgan. Good start, isn't it, for the visitors?
It's been too many short pitch balls that they've put away. And they've kept the ball up, swings and misses, and the little one of their at there. I think Maddie may well be thinking about changing bling, but whether she'll put a straight away or whether she'll go for one of the that's around, I'm sure. It looks like Woolston's still continuing from the
Oxley Hall end.
Oxley Hall end. I think I actually drove up that road on the way here today.
It's a lovely, lovely part of the country, this, I must say. I had a very scenic walk up here. And of course the estate as a whole, I mean, you've got the hockey pitch, you've got the rugby field, you've got 2 cricket pitches as well. First time we're here, saw some American football taking place on the ground just to our left. I mean, it's a proper facility, they say.
We have changed bowlers from the far end. It's one of our bowlers with no numbers. Miss Blackwell.
First delivery is blocked there by Lauren Parfitt. It's a really good shot that from Parfitt. Just penetrates the gap between the 2 fielders. 4 runs crunched through extra cover. And Glamorgan's strong start continues here at Weetwood. The visitors 41 without loss now here in the 7th.
And this is where a young captain has put on a very young player, and it probably needed the likes of Ria Fackrell to come on and just bowl a few overs of off spin at this stage.
Well, how does Blackwell respond after that? Very well.
Yeah, she's a good bowler. It's just she's lacking in that experience that you probably need in this precious situation at the moment.
Taking a look at the replay of that shot. That is absolutely exquisite from Lauren Parfitt. A lot straighter from Blackwell. Giving the right-hander for a little bit of space. She managed to nick the ball through the wicket.
Yeah, it's a very exciting 17-year-old, 6-year-old Blackwell. You know, she bats the ball entirely normally.
Parfitt again leaning into that one, only as far as point.
Yorkshire will need a wicket in the next couple of overs to start putting pressure on.
That one a full toss. Tempted to be worked through the covers, but to no avail, only as far as Fackrell, and that is the end of the over. So, Glamorgan 41 for none after 7 overs here at Weetwood. Scores 16 and 17 for the openers respectively. Freeborn has 17 and Parfitt with 16. And I believe for the first time, Jane, here in the run chase, we are going to see a little bit of spin. Claudia Cooper has got the ball in hand. There's a little bit of a didn't get has struck in her first over on any occasion. Drank one cup and so far. So I think it's the interval Maddie troops out there doing the bound. the cupboard. This here on Billion Bowl first to Abby.
Yeah, she's a wicket in just for down there. She's over.
This is on the off and made a back the Saudi stars of course. The timing speed to the job up for Rose. She in the defence there of Dawn.
Yeah, and the owners like half you up to your life now. If line up.
Well, they flat on that one. Freeborn advances. Work's been there from Erin Thomas as well. Cuts it down to just one.
Yeah, a bit of a bouncing bomb that one towards Thomas, but she got down behind it and stopped it from going through her to the boundary. So that's just the one rather than a 4 from that slightly over pitch ball.
As the wind begins to pick up here at Weetwood, sun also shining down gloriously though as Cooper bowling here to Parfit. Just directs that off the back face for no run.
With Glamorgan bowling spinners this morning, I don't know if you're aware, but after an hour and a half, they bowled 33 overs. It's phenomenal, you know, the number of overs that were bowled.
See that from Clee Cooper. Will snuff off every go as well. One from the off just single. Glamorgan autumn date. Yeah, that was something which we were actually thinking about here in the lead, was just how fast it was, because the first 20, 60 minutes, which, I mean, that is, isn't it?
It's got 20 years when people used to bowl overs quickly.
But as you said, it was because of spin. It was trial by spin, and let's face it, the Glamorgan spinners, Nicole Reid, Poppy Walker, of course Gemma Porter with her off spin. They did exactly what was required of them as Blackwell comes in for second over. I think that's been half stopped by Rhea Fackrell, kills the momentum of the ball slightly. Glamorgan pair turn that one into a quickly ran 2.
That could so easily have been 4 runs there, just hit through the covers, half stopped by Rhea Fackrell and chased down.
Yeah, goalkeeper style, wasn't it? Diving low to her left. Blackwell into bowl once more from the Oxley Hall end. Just about directed towards point. Amy Campbell is the building there. It's Freeborn. Of course, had Archie to a home, scored for century. And yeah, got 10 being big when she gets to the ability to score big runs. Well, bowled up out. Toss.
Clean game, or it's good for batting in.
Off it. I think that one's slightly off the inside edge. Down towards Hannah Rainey. It's another single there, this time off the bat of the Glamorgan captain. Yeah, with Abby, she's not played too much in the T20 competitions, especially in the T20 Blast. It's been Nat Wraith who's been give love to the Edgbaston, but she has been pretty consistent in one day up. Warwickshire's leading run score in League One, and that one an absolute delivery from Ines Blackwell.
I wonder if you can top run scorer in Division 1 and the same season. I wonder if that, I think we regularly need to look at here. Really.
Staggering on King. Let's thought about it after this ball. Something for just squeezing out. Where the wicketkeeper will do at the end of the overall loss on it and Tabby 20, but Rachel, basically in 15 smash and scored 2 runs. Hitting a ball seconds. I think at once she was Sussex exceeding T20 run score. Played half of the competition. So that's the future. Fit big shot.
This goes built-in for just development, women's cricket, and the opportunities for younger players or academy players or players on the fringe to actually get a game.
Oh, that's a really nice delivery from Cooper.
Taken well behind the stumps by Maddie Ward, who whips the bails off, but I don't think the feet had moved at all of Parfit there.
It's one of those, it's the moral victory for the bowler, isn't it? You'll look at that as a spinner and think, right, could be in the gap, a couple more of those shots. You know, could tickle the edge, could loop up in the air, and catching opportunities can present themselves. Cooper bringing the stumps into play, targeting middle and leg.
And that's good field placing there, Jess Woolston, because she'll try and just drive it down the onside, and there's a possibility of a catch.
That one tossed up by Cooper. Well played, just deflected off the bat face there by Parfit for 1 run. As the wind continues to howl here at Weetwood, apologies if you can hear that through our microphones. It has begun to get a little bit blustery here on the balcony at the pavilion.
Just a little bit of adjustment in the field before Cooper comes into bowl.
This one down the leg side. Freeborn goes for the sweep down towards fine leg. That is the end of 10 over. So that is the first power play in favour of Glamorgan. 47 for none. Freeborn and Parfitt have done their job. Still got the likes of Gab, George Parfitt still to come. Charlotte's going to give batting left. Emma local leagues passes.
Yes, I remember seeing her many times last season and scoring runs at the top of the order. She opened the batting a number of times.
Yep, top quality player is Emma. Just having some adjustments in the field here from Matt. Nearly. Also got a long leg where Hannah Rainey is patrolling. Parfitt drop and run into the offside. Really clever strike rotation that between the Glamorgan openers.
Yeah, and every time they take that single, then that's relieving pressure because it means that they're keeping the run rate going.
Blackwell to Freeborn. That one wide. Should be sick by the...
Yeah, working by Wood. That's nice ball outside the loom on the... That would signify for the umpire that that was a wide.
Pace taken off there by Blackwell. Tries to create some space through the cover region. Can't quite beat Fackrell there in it. Short cover. A massive thank you as well to all of you for tuning in, seeing plenty on the YouTube live chat, and if you haven't already liked the live stream today and subscribed to the Yorkshire YouTube channel, please feel free to do so. Blackwell bowls here to Freeborn, tries to paddle that around the corner, could be a chance of a run out, but Parfitt quick enough, and that is the 50 up for Glamorgan here in the 11th over. Really strong start to the run chase for the Welsh outfit, looking to cement and consolidate that point two, so that home semi-final. Marching into the eye, young.
Used to playing the 50 and what is being into players. So your team is in quality. Without Alice, without Slater, without Leicester, it's taken quite shortly.
That one has been absolute. All the way run, Lauren Harvett with the sand shot down the tree line. Now a little bit of certainty for the ball. A couple of spectators down there. Identified a bush with the ball down. Magic of Oil. Find that ball in. We'll have Chin the Dukes of part of Ice Rovi.
Yeah, I did not the ball to those of them but not you play a piece or not playing on good wing so far.
Yeah, in a bit different from as of a spin. Mad also seem to see it slightly different. Playing of C. Rainey and S Black. Since in here from the pavilion end with Claudie Cooper, she continues her spell. When he zips that one in, Freeborn tries to whack that through mid-wicket, but some sharp fielding prevents any runs from being scored. Do you think we might see a bit of Rhea Fackrell sooner rather than later?
I guess so. And as well, I'm not sure if it's my eyes, but I don't see the ball turning that much.
That one has been pulled away successfully. Really zips off the practice wickets. Some good fielding out there, restricts it to just one run.
Yeah, watching Claudia Cooper bowl and watching the other girls bowl the first on, I thought there was more turnouts than I did unless Claudia pushes the ball through more often than bowlers.
Revs on the ball. I think she is pushing it through the air. We saw with a lot of flights and they pace the ball just the surface do the talking. Is that what we might see Cooper change up?
So with entry bowling as a way now
there one drag.
You could wait it all saw her cut through, push through also once as well.
Is it's far different next ball. That's frustrating, isn't it? For a bowler. Bowler 7 will offer 116 here, mate. 38 overs. Well, red situation. Absolutely coming on to bowl. All the other head for any playing enthusiasm. If Fackrell still slot. Initially, there was a deep backward point. Instead, a backward point was put in place. And Amy, who was on that side of the rope has pushed out towards the more conventional point/deep cover point. It's Freeborn now. Oh, that's a misfield. Down there at mid-on. 4 for Abby Freeborn. She continues her way. Glamorgan 61 without loss.
Yeah, but feeling that ball, Abby Freeborn giving a night good old smash at it, but I feel it'd be better. Not the state that you want Abby Freeborn to be at. She is playing freeway shot now. She's obviously score 6-1 for no loss. It's truly in the favour of Glamorgan at point in time.
Freeborn again targets the exact same area, places it even better. And it is another brutal boundary off the bat of the Bears' low knee. Glamorgan continue to shift momentum in their favour. The visitors now 65 without the loss of any wickets.
Perhaps change of field, I think. Have somebody at deep mid-wicket and a mid-wicket and take the one from third man or short third to mid-wicket. I think that's what's happening.
Yep, it is. That's happened straight away. And rightfully so. It's Freeborn now. That's very cheeky. There's a big appeal for LBW. But that is something to know with Abby Freeborn. As soon as you take third out, there is the danger of the reverse sweep, and she's done that first ball. Really enterprising cricket, and it just adapts into the mind of the off-spinner. That one driven to an absolute brilliant attack. Could chase the bullets, and Yorkshire finally their first hits. Hit 13th over the 30 from Peckham. That was absolutely splendid.
As we watch on already. Very well, looks move back well, taking a bit of the force of the bamboo. Good was wasted.
And while Jeffrey has for it, the single game way, but one of these starts, we Marlow, Roger, the Caterpillar, Norton of Transkip, Otherworth, senior head speak for
I am good after a while, really. So he was quite young in coming to ranks. Good energy out of the positive there as well. There's telling me she's been working on her fitness, and we good to see. For Yorkshire's perspective, they want to see her back for her quite quickly.
Yeah, wickets are the name of the game up there at this stage. Of course, the name of the game in any game of cricket. Want to get all but it's all about generating a prep. I'm all win team for Morgan. Smaller to in shots and Surrey over Yorkshire. With Abby Thorne now, C5 on here.
Actually, do result. Just keep building them. Be a huge round of the thing. We are Weetwood. Needs to understand that all is
on here. The Glamorgan can Lauren try and work that away through back. Fly on that driver and smart stop from cross. That's a it's as well on a poppy back by their heart of the bar to by the left in the end off to make good. Yeah, oh yeah, box exit. You go shown back. I found having came down to back to the second spot on the trap position by some here follow. Counts me great will be for some things money all like so all that big okay. Click the no did the point one stop Yorkshire bring bottom. For so we go out on the Venice 14 pass and the Ludo for your 1. So we can see Oxland. He's the Marla looks to by that one through mid, which just about evades the fielder, allows for them to turn it into 2 runs. It will be 2. So that means supports.
Good to see that Velas was going to make it mid on and asking when she's got the chair.
His body is conjuncted. No, the weak ball is finishing. Or is it yet? But to reach the ball in, it's like
you can see well the shack ball. I'm straight field. Tackle the spot. This was for 4 on not got sand and the mains got over so and
get a feature that shows out
which is a lot about to connect that can cricket.
Really smart. The ML in his supposed to runs now if Ethan who has scored plenty of in cups so far this season. He's one of the integral pillars of the singly in that top order. Stick my rifle straight on the ground, the east for the field, and then she's on that ball, just an east
big pin of one, which is shaking back, makes the quality to
everyone's new and at look at the feeling top to the funnel.
This is what has as well. Many is again down, but there are in these areas, will mean all
on reaches like an outfinger. For a measurement, gets a little open 3 occasion, to get on, a lot of eyes, almost stops it, can see the goal nice. Yeah,
especially for one, because it's hard, but we can see football that could
question out a hook on box potentially have had a chance, but I think sleep
and create that
running strongly from there. Good top, young player. That's it in. See, no number 6, but
you can be the same. Into one about what happened to make the single runway and is wheel down. Yeah, sure. Holding balls.
Simple balls. Back square with so a single to that. problem to get up inside being seconds on in this field where Gamma turns happening but
Cricket Morgan, they're dropping the balls with soft hands and Dingle reacts which are 2 runs either.
Plus for ref excellent performance Lanny Peace. We do give plenty of fight the 4 times Cooper is and talk for the sport certainly 54.
Yeah, it's too hard to go with argument of bad but chance.
Yeah, even in that Morgan's and say so it should side for 11 will be taken in.
As I'm allowed to look to you the pressure all the drop for you.
By the circuit for the Lord would see all start the these that on put the bit run what as well do.
And what's another the
ideal scenario is that this pays off with a wicket or 2. Glamorgan to 100 for 4. This really could be a very interesting game indeed as Cooper looks to put plenty of revs and rotation on that one. Fielded by Jess Woolston for 1 run.
Good smart cricket there by Garmin. Realised that the ball was pitched a little short. There was enough space between square leg and deep square. Just tucked it around the corner for a quick easy single.
Was also brings about the change in field here for Lauren Parfitt. Instead she drops it into the offside. That's really clever batting because 3 of the fielders are on the deep. Out on the onside, instead just places it into the gap on the other side of the wicket. So that is the end of the 18th over. Glamorgan 83 for 2, Parfitt on 37, Bethan Gammon on 4, and we'll have a slight change here in the commentary box. I will make way. I'll leave you with some words of wisdom, courtesy of Maroof Khan and On In My Place. You'll hear very shortly from the ever-reliable Michael McCann.
84 for 2 off the end of the 18 overs. Yorkshire needs wickets. Glamorgan just need to tuck it around the corner, keep the pressure on.
Yorkshire have got to do all heavy lifting here. Yorkshire have got to find a way to change the momentum in the contest. Because as things are, Glamorgan are taking another big step towards a top 2 spot. The not insignificant advantage of a home semi-final on the 6th of September. That's just nibbled round the corner by Bethan Gammon, who's been excellent for Glamorgan this season in both 20 over and 50 over formats. Works in the Glamorgan setup as well in the EPP programme. Cut straight to backward point.
It's that passage of pay now, Michael. This just has to be sustained pressure from Yorkshire.
Gammon's going to get 1 here. She moves on to 5, still settling into her innings. Bethan Gammon, she got the 6th most runs of anybody in the blast. And she goes, this is in Vitality Blast, to lead to the strike rate of anyone with more than 100 competition. So that gives you a real sense of how she was in Glamorgan's run to the semi-final. To I, now Yorkshire got to find something to turn this game as that over from Thackrell is done. 86 for 2 off 19 then. The Thackrell thus far with for 16 from her 4.
Yes, in this passage of play, Michael, expect Yorkshire to try and still not give those easy singles away. I know it's hard already, but if those runs are being trickled away over, then there's not too much pressure on the Glamorgan batters, and they have to be the way the game is at this stage. Yorkshire needs to make things happen.
Speaking of making things happen, debutant into the action. It's a full toss that's hammered straight at Morstan at short mid-wicket. Megan McCall starting with a loosener, it's safe to say. That's just pushed out to deep cover. There's a couple of people mentioning in the YouTube beg your pardon, live chat that they're picking up a fair bit of the wind. It is a reflection of conditions of pole that's coming through in weight. It's large numbers of your audio experience. Gammon. as McCall cuts and just about to before. At the moment where Yorkshire were interested, but actually it's a pretty slow inch for, I think, Gavin's first boundary.
Short bounce. Gavin did well with the bounce. Look, goal. The fielders get not down. And the good for once.
So she's on with and FIFA wants to flip against France back in August 20 game. Slides and he's got past Gammon. Slip, but could do it really. It's a wild swipe from Gammon, who gets 4 more, a little fortuitously this time.
Yeah, Gammon is with and throws a hand at it, and rightly so. Full swing the bat, a lot of air. No chance for the first slip. These 4 runs would be Yorkshire.
That's at least good to give you some sense that something might be back. That's control by Gammon, who already has a ton on this season, half one against Gloucestershire victory in early May. So on top of that, has regular runs, 72 off 56 against Sussex, as she's sensibly leaving that one to take the wide. Well, that's looped up and just agonisingly short of McCall. Well, it's been a first over that's had a bit of everything from Megan McCall, and it almost had a wicket.
Trying to turn it around the corner, ball bounced and popped a bit as well. Top edge, Michael. Unfortunate.
97 for 2 then, after 20. Slightly lucky escape from Gammon, who is a very good coach in that Glamorgan EPP setup and does a huge amount to help bring through next generation, and also inspires them a lot. There's one way to get the attention of young girls who you're coaching, by being out there scoring runs in the middle for the first team, and also playing in front of a crowd of more than 1,000 in one of the double headers at Sophia Garden, as qualification was reached with Gammon unbeaten. The track covers that toss away for 1.
And the way quite positive, look relaxed. She's really positive around in terms of the dinner, and she's adding as a
the full toss back away with a bit very good. Gammon part of the last year she was named in the Storm squad 21 and 22 in the old region. What doing things? That's down to long on for and 100 is now up after that single, which takes Parfitt onto 42. She's playing a great holding role here, Lauren Parfitt. Doesn't really need to change a thing. And straight back to Thackrell. Top wicket taker in the League 2 blast. Thackrell, and Yorkshire desperately need more from her here. She's picked up the 2 that have fallen. And just trying to nudge into the onside. Definitely not one there though. And that's the end of the over. 100 for 2 off 21.
a game of cat and mouse, Michael. At this stage, Yorkshire looking for early wickets, more wickets. They need more if they can. Put some pressure with getting wickets on. Glamorgan girls are just taking their time and waiting for the balls to come there and getting much score pressure them. They know if they bat for allocation of the overs, they'll be the outs are the one that needs to make things happen. He runs 72 runs to play with.
All on for a second over. He's now coming right on that. That's it. To her second over, which is Mouton. Played somewhere for the Scottish growth and then played some games for the Yorkshires in the Yorkshire Academy. Hit hard down the ground. Links by Thomas away to her right. Very neat doing that, and even more than a game like this where you're on 6 feet now from the ball, so really just trust down. True. That's it.
Wicket the light was wide, she didn't get a chance back.
Campbell short. Cool. Hard into the he's great, but very rare go. So in the 20 didn't his. He was very much in the runs throughout. That's a delivery. Full toss, waist high, and smashed away deep backward square. Gift wrapped of Beth and Gammon's undoubtedly.
Yes, not really. From the corner to shot time the ball well. It's 4 runs.
Yeah, a little bit of licorice all sorts from McCall in her first 2 overs in a Yorkshire shirt. Problem for Yorkshire, runs so precious here. His 3 16 out of the 20 and 106. Has been most economical, number 16 off her 6. Thackrell 2 for 20 off 5. Woolston none for 14 off her 3. And Rainey none for 20 off 3. It looks like Yorkshire are going back to Woolston.
Yeah, I think right move there actually. The spinner's not being that effective. And the Yorkshire skipper realizes that, they need to make some kind of movement in terms of changes. And I think she's got the bowler who's got 5 wickets in the last game back. So hopefully she can turn that on and try and get some wickets for Yorkshire.
If you missed the news earlier, Middlesex have won by 8 wickets against Derbyshire to make it 6 wins from 6 in this competition this season. Derbyshire rolled for 76. Harriet Parkin and also Pittman, the only 2 players to get past double figures. Back trying to make something happen for Yorkshire with Ward up to the stumps, guided nicely, but straight to short third. Anaya Patel, the 14-year-old Middlesex off-spinner, Middlesex's youngest ever debutant, who had a very good blast campaign today with figures of 9.1 overs, 4 made and 17 for 4. So she's someone who I would imagine Maruf Khan, the England women's pathway scout, will have a close eye on, as will various people in and around that setup. Well, that's a little bit of extra bounce that troubles Parfitt. Turner taking 3 wickets as well, and the chase was a pretty simple one. Izzy Routledge, she's having one heck of a season with ball against Shringley last 8 not retiring. Tasha Miles, Fairfield Hawley in the tournament, of course, but the target was chased inside 10 overs. Wow. That'd be comprehensive. Parfitt jabs, and that's burst through short mid-wicket. It probably shouldn't have been 1, but it gets past Fackrell for a single. So that means that result of Merchant Taylor's means the Middlesex is 6 from 6, and you can now say Middlesex have pretty much got 1 foot not only in the semi-finals but in a home semi-final. It's difficult to imagine them missing out on the top 2 with such an imposing record and a very good net run rate as well. And then it's a bit of a battle for other spots. Morgan know that a win will take them with 5 wins from 6, will consolidate their position in second. Oh, that's well bowled by Woolston, and Gammon was not fully in control of this. He was trying to hit this more through a backward point kind of area. Extra bounce, it flies away for 4.
Good ball that, coming in sharply, rises a bit, slip invading as well, just wide as well, makes good contact, which allows the ball to trickle away to his third man for 4 runs. I think there will be a third man coming in shortly, I think.
Yeah, Woolston's going for a 7-2 here, so she's really got to be disciplined. Oh, or maybe she's not. Nope, change of heart. But she's got to slip and she's pushed short third out. Hammond's just trying to nudge this away, but there's not one there. Ulstershire have posted 290 watting first against Worcestershire, which is a more than decent score, helped by contribution on the Beach and Burt Whistle. That's Bundle, 602 first again, 25 in 5. Even on the another game, Northamptonshire still back start day with 4 wins from 5, just above Yorkshire and just behind Glamorgan, and they look on course to beat Kent. They have rolled Kent out for 163, and in the chase look pretty comfortable at 4-1, helped there by 3 wickets from Carpenter, the opening bowler, and now out there on his house now, get 5 wins from 6, and in fact if they win that, Glamorgan this end, those 3 come through back, so team back from both ends. So there's a lot of fascinating table mix. Assuming Northampton see that chase home, Yorkshire can't turn one around, and Yorkshire all this games until 4th and just make it to semi-finals. Hold and well played. Safe midfield first, and that means I'll get 1.
Yeah, I guess the way things are looking for Yorkshire, they need to tighten things and hopefully get some more quick wickets, really, Michael. And I think at this stage, Maddie has done the right thing, get the 2 fast bowlers on and try and create pressure and create areas where they can get wickets. Yorkshire needs wickets to go to field. Rightly short players in the right that get us.
Just one more runs here. He's putting something on. Goes for the bumper. It's a very convincing pull shot out to deep square leg from Beth and Gammon for 1. Gammon on to 23. This partnership very much established now. These two came together at 69 for 2, so just short of the half-century mark. Partnership worth 44 in good time as well. They've added 44 in 8 and a bit overs. You're happy with that, even if you're batting first, never mind chasing a low score.
Good cricket there by Rainey. She followed the bouncer with a slower one. She is thinking. She is trying to create that opportunity to see if she can get a wicket for Yorkshire. I like to see people trying things, especially when it's needed the most to get some wickets.
Does it change? Cut bounce straight. Yeah, she's saying in interview on the Yorkshire website building up to this one. You know, people often just a nice fire in one angle. I've got a bit of pace, I get good bounce, and I've got a good back of the hand slower ball. I like using that and bowling in T20s especially. Although my age might not say it, I'm still pretty fresh in my career and have left lots in the tank. Hit hard down the ground, almost a baseball style looking shot. That'll be another dot.
Yeah, and the way Rainey is coming along now, she is looking to make sure that she gets something out in there at this point in time. But yeah, at 113 for 2, Yorkshire needs more quick wickets.
Thank you very much as always to Maroof Khan. Will be replaced by someone who will be replacing him, but does nothing to reduce the quality of the summariser that we offer you here on this Vertu live stream. Very good afternoon to Dr. Jane Powell, but right now Yorkshire President, it is not looking like a very good afternoon for the White Rose.
No, I think they. It's interesting. I think the spinners have really caused trouble on the pitch, and they could have done with Olivia Thomas here this afternoon, I think, but obviously she's not fully fit, so we have Jess Woolston coming into bowl now.
Gammon is just turning that one away. It does look like pitching conditions, both in terms of the slowness of the track and the fact it's offering turn, that would have in theory been a good one for Olivia Thomas, who, despite being on an academy contract, has made herself near enough a mainstay of the Yorkshire 11 this season. She has only missed 2 games since she signed, second of which is today with injury. I make it. She's been rested for one other. That's cut away, and that has beaten the fielder at point. Cackrell herring after it. Will just about keep it in play.
Yeah, the rogue in me is like, Maddie, give the gloves to somebody else and boss.
Quite a take on have across the absolute who would take off. Well, love maybe in Yorkshire instinct was sounds move. I'm not sure it's necessarily an intentional short ball plan, this.
No,
to be honest.
Not at all. And saying who could we are, and I'd probably put Campbell. She seems to play in that fielding placements.
The problem for you feel like that with touch ball and glow thinking to do with 119 to do off T5's 51 win.
Yeah, the key to here is there, and the couple wickets quietly would put Glamorgan a bit of pressure. At the moment, there's really that much pressure on them. They've got 2 overs to score 56 runs, 2 and over, and as you say, with spread very straight to be able to angles that they choose, particularly on leg.
What would you put that you
have to put them for even IF box. If you do tap it wickets, then you some of the other savers from they do others because of effective bowler. It's always a risk through in a 50 game, but 6 runs and 2. So I don't know right. He's going to go for that.
Finished economic 6-7. So she's got 4 overs left for you off 5. What is sure, in case when the game is Yorkshire, you have to be up to take risk. You want to create some volatility in because things continue as they are, essentially drift steady towards taking victory. Whether it's form of bowling options, but also in terms of maybe setting some slightly funkier fields that run the risk of maybe wrong. It's definitely thinking for game with the season units back in on a 6 winner and not only County Giants one winning by T20 the last 5 for Saturday.
Yeah, there are some figures in team positions that are much of things so and hit revealed other hat and it's one of the fashion now where even wickets you know all this now it will runs 25 overs or is that you would put them now fill on.
So you really pretty out score with one no Western win 90 so 2.3 losses it's now particularly for it
to we'll stop about the on that could have catch.
It was better. It's like they body type of share. That's great on. Neon is around short Gavin. It's very good.
Yeah, she's a few eggs and short. She's not hittable.
You just can build some pressure on her Yorkshire who here on had a number of watching scene shun in shooting deep. It's not a very nice square there. Just for Yorkshire fresh on that next season. Low life rest of the campaign.
It's interesting moving cloud and what would build for attachment yeah that you and then move to the different about years ago.
It's had this it's definitely in the ecosystem from regional to county structure of county well on the stream women's to name. So here the global to times the over 90 for 2 of 26.
And you know, I'm not knowing the current era. You know, like it's people be paid back. So does that take out using the where they lose was playing for both teams last rounds? Are they playing somebody else? You know, does think how it's and stink. You know, your play
was going to the first over from Oxen after drink starting right on the button. One thing I expected would be very to how all these is the lane and the you can get for a spin the way through. It's the tension. Well, you know, it's always growing pains.
Yeah.
Every chance. To move down, shimmy across the on sides, which as well deflects and gets faster than the neck is in the ball comes between.
Yeah, just doing that open through the make of the rest. Yeah,
but they do make a straight point. Name a couple of well-placed sticks. 100 have got one so typically prefer quick 900. Sussex had 17 coming to them. I can play for them on month. That's now deep square there. Now,
you know, there's any platforms why playing their development stage, and you don't learn much by sitting on the sideline every game.
And I guess the other concern, and again, it's a new problem, right? And it's a good problem to have compared to things in the recent times of cricket. Now got them so many massive number of days in here and now you're going to ask because that on all the gym outs we've got six that we year after we have 10 time professional more than more predictable toss guy. One thing I do is some kind of builds those cricketers as well as potentially tier 2 games. Shorts pulled away, and that will go for value for your shots. It's a loosener from Brett.
Yeah, there a bit, and just rolled on it.
Oh, Yorkshire think there's nick on it. It is. What a magnificent bit behind the stumps from Addie Ward. Full-blooded cut shot. Ward takes the catch. Cooper comes on and gets a wicket in the first over of her new spell, and just gives Yorkshire a glimmer of hope here. 126 for 3.
Yeah, and that was a great step. I was a little bit more and to be a little more flooded. So immediately, Cowboard, who had some so great there, they all landed in the same time.
That's it. Remember the slip. You hope is the credit Bethan you with an show game. Why she's been what run here. This is 14 balls with very deep and 4 partnership with the 7th and still 7. And he's been by people with reserves. It's been with West since. Very on the god.
The was for this is now it's better away with that one.
They need to put in pressure for the Rasin to the ball 23.6 so far, so in the midfield will be difficult. Spurs far and wide. It's a 5-side field, so Fat can afford to work off stump to path it. First and outside and 2 off. Again. It got to just change shit at all. There's no reason to. Father, this is brilliant, no doubt that, but you're hoping for a lot more. Maybe, I mean, it's not been wided, so maybe it's just in a little trouser. So that's on the ground by Puffett. He moved too shortly. A well-developed half century.
What I see is the new strike, so I'd like to see Maddie ring in field now on the new batter that has just keep.
Square gap for Scotland. What season from Fat Roll? Winchester. On the road, 127 seeds. Yorkshire. It's not only speak to Jen, what you got seconds that goes to
It's a bit like the stuff when you can
over. I know the 2.
And also, umbrella, look for, you can hear.
My notes on the replies are quite,
The reason I feel so better when Harry of the week, I think they're just about in and then they're usurped by a player coming in.
Quite and straight to Woolston, who's at a very short mid wicket. Highlights Dr. James Powell's referred to Fackrell there as well. So when Scar looks up, she'll see 4 fielders. So catching slip is waiting behind. Scarborough is kept on 0 here. Just on that note, so the regulations right now have an unlimited number of academy loan players from Tier 1 sides. Uses her seamer, but she pushes for a little more and is P for another wicket here. And then the other important state on the current reg that is you can have up to 3 professional Tier 1 players. For Glamorgan today, that is Abby Freeborn, Lizzie Scott and Emma Mark. That's straight to Wolf. And then 30th, 128 for Cooper, the road that concedes just the same. You change the number to ability for that.
I don't know whether I'll leave it at 3, but I definitely set cut-off dates. So, for this competition, you might be allowed 2, say, and the cut-off date is X date. So if you haven't signed any loan people by this date, then they come in. I think the idea that you can change that loan player every week at the moment is just like, you don't know. As a coach, you can't plan or prepare who you're playing against. We talk a lot about development of, well, you can't develop if you don't know who you're against. You can't set game plans. You can set generic ones, but you can't go, well, they've got this under battle line spinner, so we'll have in a bowl, type of thing. Yeah. So, developing.
Oh, shit, and if it, sure, half century, full of fair, and it looks over my God, 24 to go for X.
You've got those protection because it would I mean, she wasn't too deep. They would have gone. She still made 4 for she hit was out. That's straight to in the rope and it was great in it. She pointed at much to literally. This is what your team's in. This is as you sucking and then made up the half an hour.
These 2 to looking at she checked them. He's a Fackrell and Yorkshire. Well, it's not even a ring. It's plenty of fielders well inside the ring as they should be. Scoreboard tonight. Wider shot just shows it. They're circling like vultures. They should be. Morgan just sitting a little less comfortable in their seat than they mean. It's just straight to short square. Crew really turning the sphere. 8:24 so far. And off the you have yesterday you would have it in
position. So how you could provide
yeah, you too. You're playing
different total.
Okay. So you can do this on this court. Now 16 food. Shot of one to the for a court and how many plus running see loses it. Winding off where I think streets and the trouble system which is got to give the dinner going to win the gate takes between them.
Oh, and she's strongly. She can get out there now. Okay.
This is cool. Yeah, well, go on. Always trains the footing. That is in the over 106 kilobyte.
Yes, and come plus and to just
wonder if themselves just.
Well, saying which the mind boxes and the other wickedness. Kids are Yorkshire's to what fast.
It's been
it appears and some it's like.
Oh, that's right. Fox come. Just going down.
Half well,
by basically that white then since fun back to so it's playing in looking at back it and way up on to become was tossed so I stopped being called out just that's on pointing is and and then so we're out just saying that you think it's going one finger that's a choice. From you not years old, I can say shoes yes out. She's sent you've acted out because you think we you're off teaching we're going to get your awkward speak the shoe guys and you're too late and host up next in a store Gloucester be sit play next fish on the be just common level and they found the first way in your show fun just good feeling it'll be 2 regardless just 37 to 1 usually ball
good ball
out deep. Just something you have 2 allowed 11 checking out. Currently ads and free autumn.
You're not doing to devote with Phyllis long in watch, and there's a lot of there.
Not sure where with you deadline or problem feet.
Every sort that people pick up because at the moment we face very late to the clock. We've rewound that and start working.
Just the border in county.
Problem is not happening against the rules. I don't think to look at this.
Yeah, don't just change because it's with the tier system. And that's end of 138 off 34. Yorkshire looking it's awkward from Dr. Jane Powell. She was describing her distance off the fender lost her we went off.
The offensive depth of players have schools playing. Don't think they're at that level of county, whereas some of them are being asked in county really got the knowledge or the skill set, the ability to be there at this moment in time.
No, it is a very, very interesting conversation. We'll continue in a second, Jane, as continue from the Oxley Hall end. Is this something that we is having a grounded club?
Yeah, they have the old hazard around the field that makes you do this. You learn much in cricket. In club cricket, you've got some old, experienced heads, and I'm working with one of the teams, and young girls coming in, and some of them do the field placings and don't know what's at, even though they're a bowler. I think that's where they could pick up so much in club cricket.
We'll still continuing here, Barbara. It's a wide line, and the extra is given. We're now in for 4, so inching close. That's 170. I mean, that goal any across the two.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen the 5th player, and everyone knows they're decent.
And I think that's that
usually as much than everybody else's.
Education, the doors in the club circuit. Nice bowling here from Jess Walston, just providing a little bit of control and dot ball pressure from the opponent.
It can maintain pressure, then pressure on these that are supposed to be feeling scoring eyes.
Barbara looks positive 9 of the star to get off the mark from first 13 deliveries. Still on our hands. There are many now. 4 for the victory. You should really are taking it as deep as possible, and that is all we ask for. Scarborough this time tries to launch that one down the grounds.
It can take it, it'll be from 8%. That route is in shit off features. No, that's
perhaps discuss one throw.
We did
24 in all. Read the deco. Times on pass to second leg. It is the draft of 30 over. So now Monty runs on
that would really and the moving
just systems extend it and run later on. Just in the mix where it's getting right in the battle for the O spot. So we have to answer you take big, not just for getting 4 top or in a home is all for big.
Would be
So starts the air fame at them, but then like the one day cup has on, but it's just isn't it? In used to offside just put short.
Now I'm out the British draw it's only a game option up just what you probably do development that skills are
And stuff is Harani. Scarborough looking those gaps, but as of yet hasn't really conceded that the likes of Gann for on as well. They find crudely down there from Maybu.
I think the Cape Heart stump.
It was one of those. I mean, the natural angle, isn't it, when coming wicket as well as opposed.
It's straightened a bit enough, it's just one of those.
On a Buller, big swing about collect by Maddie Ward behind the stumps. Either way, is really off both ends at the moment. Yes, run rate is not an issue, as you mentioned, but even generated with something which is frustrating, as we're not quite consistency.
Yeah, I think so.
Shot, tries to caress it, covers, stop by the rest, so will just be a single.
Once it's no need, I think that one that immediately started a bit more pressure because you didn't that you should have got. It can be to keep doing the controller again. This black on the academy.
Yep, it will. It's from the as opposed to Des Walston. None fiend for previous. Maddie Ward comes a stump with the helmet on. Again, just making some slight adjustments here. Duckworth initially was down at long, instead she's now at more a deep backward square leg.
Every time you say Duckworth, I expect their looseness.
Here is Scarborough trying to get some of that fire in Thomas, who's portrayed.
Young player, this is 16.
16.
16. Oh, wow.
Yeah, just at the start of hopefully be a longer progressing career. There you go, absolutely brilliant from of that quality surface. Gets the breakthrough that Yorkshire Tids now have lost half of backing units. 141 for 5. And
what a great wicket. It comes all the apple to some level for a team a bit as well. Now they're going to be a little bit get up. It's pretty have it. Do a cut here. Back, so it's looking at from
that's the end with Ram as well bowled in Disley early the PS3 spell 2 1 got a big hit there. Charlotte Gabra to part 10 penalties club Gemma No, right, still this one of what I see who's house. So right, for a majority of this Madonna in for thinking here. Paul is at immediately tests.
First ball to quarter, you want to captain from is take play. Bring this up and you want to Tennessee.
It's just to the side front body of the Yorkshire fielders is all right. They are really getting behind. They really plenty bowling. Come up 2 over Cooper from Fewley. In it, well, really having a that just starts Jack's to a and the 1 into a 2. Here's your Zach.
Yeah, and then saying nothing that bang more get.
Still in you're still all the 100 rate of fight the third exactly Rovers. It's been a pretty good game, baby. She's like
a little bit Sinton and Stack, and then they bring everybody else up and then Weetwood goes out the mid wicket.
Well, that one slightly wide from Rainey, but well within the tram line, so I think the umpire happy with that delivery.
It's quite a strong wind down there as well, isn't it? So it's from right to left, so that might just have carried further than it would normally go.
Here's rain from the pavilion end. That one often just helped out towards the back leg. This should be 2 run Jackson and Porter. Here's some good running, but the wickets there in each.
Yeah, a bit of really later. You can't hit that. It's not full for you.
Right, again, Bailey just towards Campbell. The 4 with that bring up to the rack through all mid kick. Another.
Just make a short wicket change to King Ball and good see that and
it's the edge down my juice. What the rain and ball going to the goal. She's can catch the force the first line of Emlo. Scenes ahead. It was here. She makes good fun. It is off the batters now, not let so. Yeah,
there's a skill there. Too many run really for just comes down quite serious.
Yep, so 100 up the more of down 1 fever picking up now and again. Usually here so just a little bit hit slowly. So this the 9 right down mid.
End of the at the very time to get me.
One best to play one down the ground once more.
Young Guinness Blackwell doing well, keeping eyesight. 60 leading well.
Yeah, she's super. Single livery system in the card.
Slight literacy.
You start creep growth and get wonderful to left side Don Cup and sharpening and the Roger Center to Weetwood. We see a cup even pre over here. One play, Jack and yeah.
It's of it.
Yeah, I'm first for Yorkshire. So about we beat it really. So
leave it to it.
So then those of them country at Wood was a goodbye to her fleet timed on in Dr. James. What is the development like was the wicket account of Carla Ash?
Hello, I don't think I can live up to Dr. Jane Powell's best.
Well, we've just spoken about the York.
Excellent.
Exactly, don't you get that?
No, you don't.
The man in there was a fascinating conversation. The coup above from the villain. Stop weaves.
Yeah.
No, it's important coup. It's another row. Well, Morgan top is 20 but here we're Morgan 150 for 6.
We're in that restaurant. What do you think?
Yeah, she has to be definite flashy hair, piece of listeners in yes, that mean like
I think it's online. Yeah, it's on the
Christmas ticket. It's not moments with Ludson's the dates another wicket for East, but NC1 now entering the middle will be the lone players from Vertu or Marlow, Leon, or Suffolk, or Reid come over. The new side, I guess in Christ
he's very leadable, should be nice. It's smart bowling.
Here's Cooper again, testing the stumps. Scott plays that one in late. Nothing too dangerous.
It's impatient here is Claudie, but trying to tempt Scott out of it, I think.
Let's see if the trap pays off. That one down the leg to add insult to injury. Amy Campbell go off in pursuit. Scott there to the situation, turns it into 2. So, in actuality, there'll be 3 runs off of that.
17 needed? Something like that? Just like there's no...
They're looking at the run rate. So, down to wickets here. Punting it back. That's a much better response. Then
she keeps it nice like tempting.
Yeah, I couldn't get this lap is on to sit up the surface and the other much, but they might have forward.
By that words, it's just a sake of like,
this is fingers through the like where you have your rebel, going to have your googly, your top spinner, of course the conventional leg break. With finger spin, now that the doozer is no longer a thing, you don't have that same variation. You can vary up your speed, your line, your length, but it's so important, just be consistent.
That's it, got really as well, I think, as an offie.
Yep, you do. It's definitely for those who like to think politically about the game. So the game of Blackwell starts here from the Hockley.
Straight in with that like massive from Blackwell that she's become known as. That video that we took this week has done so.
And rightfully so. Gentleman through the air, and this really testing them up here. Performance is within okay. So I think Jacob contrasting it. That why I'm like T Ward with
well today. Cat exceptional.
looks so like it really as well saying we're not Gill ends that one play. bomb.
Supported this nice. It's all the way on here.
One with little and one bomb.
Really sitting in every ball. That's all.
You're on with shots of the grey water. That day, was legendary in number 41. And of course, ball in hand. 3 for 20 from 8 overs. Imagine exactly what you want from experienced.
Absolutely. To give them more coming from the
high experience. Rhea Thack has shown that here from the end. Has to winning though. This will be edge of game of rip off the surface. Just about as he got for no run.
Check it this year as Rhea. It's fantastic.
On its attempt is within term and length. You just want to throw the hands at it.
Not wide enough to really throw it, just to sort of waft at.
Good to this. Take place out in Rhea in T20.
Top wicket taker. It's fantastic. It's no move. Great job.
On play there.
Can see the lotion on the
not so much more at the now pledge for success. Who damage done to jet back to look easy on spot. Just house. Air. Couldn't see.
Sounds a little bit excited looking at the base of the ball there.
Well, none of them whisper. Officially attacks on defense at 4. The Dragon position moves from 2 space. But it's all just Blackwell to get a beat. Also, absolute every indeed it really worked. It scans so McPhee.
Really from good against.
It's a long pretty. And try half week on.
Exit. Should do it with like stop still.
Already a decent start. This was acquired run rate being slow to red 3 first 2 overs here from Blackwell. Does the young respond with a good runs there?
Recon coming in as well. Like seconds in your games outside the ball control.
Red line there. That doesn't say to show. Sure, someone who is still so experienced. Song got to roll back foot and cut out to a
none of it. It's just nice and half the stump.
Over and isn't it?
Absolutely love it.
Still like the Australia bear. That's new pressure.
Oh, I do so.
Around board from just one so out.
It's got wrong arm. She's been it.
Look at Stephen in the don't edge there. Like that the left arm. Quite in the 4th, 166 wide with a
runs over some tip time.
Yep. And more also planes taken up and grace their present here today.
A lovely day.
Oh, it is magnificent. Yeah.
I think it's nice and garden.
Well, left, arcing for this month. And very and towards dead wickets. 4 full runs at this stage. 100. That's dismissive.
Absolute crap. That's the shot Lizzie Scott has been waiting for the last 5 of us.
Hasn't it? Look of cat.
One flips.
Good back room.
Yeah. Drag it.
Well, the pair just gone over the top, racing for Glum now, really generating them. They sort of finish long, take a replenishing in June.
Absolute top fast, absolutely thing. Which is the ball.
Not quite yet, but the roll with one strike.
He can.
Hesters of Lee Scott.
But a couple of wider and sort of reasons. So she read it by moments.
She certainly has. It's been a good spell, hasn't it? Even with those boundaries, still got 3 wickets, of course, and did drag Yorkshire into this game. It's just in the end, just not enough runs on the board, it seems. 3 runs from here. Of course, all it takes potentially could be an outside edge, some byes, some wides.
There's not anything to play with here really now.
No.
But Glamorgan have played very intelligent cricket.
They have. And let's face it, it was set up, wasn't it, by a healthy opening partnership between Abby Freeborn and Lauren Parfitt. Those two did their job to a T. Then, of course, it was built upon by Beth Gammon, and we saw a few runs from Charlotte Scarborough too. Yeah, it's just been one of those that, for the most part, aside from this maybe rocky patch from overs 30 onwards, has been a well-measured chase, this, from the Welsh outfits. Porter tries to chop that down to backward point. Stopped for no run.
Bringing Jess Wilson in at the death. To be fair, she bowled very tidily as well today.
She has, and of course she had a career day, didn't she?
Yeah.
The other week against Middlesex.
Taken 2 fantastic catches to 12.
Really a valuable part of this Yorkshire outfits. Across formats is Jess Walston. Bowling here to Gemma Porter. As Porter plays that one down the ground, will be stopped and stopped well. Means it's another dot ball.
This is good. Like we say, there isn't an awful lot to play with. Yorkshire didn't put enough runs on the board, but to keep it down to, the 45th over now, they've done well.
They have. They really have. They've been competitive. They've not allowed the shoulders to slump or the heads to drop. And of course, everybody wants to win, but sometimes the better sides, of course, are entitled to that. That, again, is attempted to be carved away on the offside, but stopped by Rhea Thack. That's the thing. If you are going to lose a match and you haven't got enough runs on the board, at least go down with a fight.
Absolutely, and they've done exactly that. The pressure's been building. They've done all the things right. When there's been a slight mistake like a misfield, heads are still up, keep going. It's really positive to see. It's something that Rich has been promoting with the girls, and it's great.
Here is Woolston to Porter. Porter tries to leather that one downtown. Will be stopped by mid-off for no run.
Claudie Cooper getting quite a bit of action in the field here.
Yeah, she's bowled well as well, hasn't she?
Very.
Claudie, 2 for 24 from her 9 overs. Of course, Ria Fackrell, 3 for 34 from her 10, including 2 maidens. It's just been one of those days, hasn't it, where Glamorgan have batted and bowled better. It's as simple as that. Wilson here to Porter. Will just about bisect the gap between Campbell and Thomas. Allows a single to be scored, so 2 runs shy now are the Welsh outfits. Will be Lizzie Scott on strike for this next delivery from Jess Woolston.
It'd be interesting to see what Lizzie does here, because we can see that she grabs darts. She really.
Let's wait and see. Will run Swan, maybe just guide it into a gap. Away has the chance to win the game. It is Lizzie Scott, the loanee from Durham. Step guide it as far as Ria Fackrell. Been busy at backward point, like I said, Ria, but will be a dot ball out over. 45 gone. On for victory as well. As if thank you to everyone tuned into our coverage today. Probably about the technical gremlins. We have had some signal and Wi-Fi issues here at Weetwood, but we thank you for your patience and for persisting with us here on commentary. Hope that you've enjoyed the coverage that you've been able to see. It will be
absolutely.
Cooper to finish off her spell here from the pavilion end.
Joy of outbound cricket contending with internet issues, isn't it? But it has got its charm.
Cooper here to Gemma Porter. Attempts to cannon that down the ground. Misfield by Rainey. And scores are level. Glamorgan just 1 run away from securing the victory against Yorkshire at Weetwood. Cooper again, this time defensively. Down towards the previously mentioned Rainey.
If Rainey had had hold of that cleanly, maybe there could have been chance there.
Potentially this time to Scott, only as far as Claudie Cooper. Cooper, that one down the leg side. It's rocketed to the fielder. However, they have scampered through for the quick single. And that will be the moment Glamorgan wrap up the victory by 4 wickets here at Weetwood. They continue their excellent form in the 2025 Metrobank One Day Cup. And the Welsh County now consolidating their place in the top 2. We'll just take you through a quick rundown of the scorecard, starting with the opening partnership between the captain Lauren Parfitt and loanee Abby Freeborn. Parfitt scoring 49, Freeborn scoring 30. Of course, there was a little bit of a wobble, courtesy of some excellent bowling and a great caught and bowled from Ria Fackrell, who finished with excellent figures of 3 for 34 with 2 maidens from her 10 overs. But from there on out, Beth Gammon scoring 34, Charlotte Scarborough with 10, Eve Jackson with 8, Lizzie Scott at the end with a bit of a salvo, a stylish finish, scoring 12 runs, and Gemma Porter with 7 have ultimately secured the victory for Glamorgan within the space of 45.5 overs. In terms of Yorkshire's next game in the Metrobank One Day Cup, it's away down in Bristol at the county grounds, so unfortunately no more trips to Weetwood or Scarborough or Headingley for the foreseeable. However, the men are in action at Clifton Park. York Cricket Club is the stage of our next encounter on Tuesday the 12th of August, and it's the big one. It's the Roses match against Lancashire. Charlotte, just before we say our goodbyes for the coverage today, and we thank all of our wonderful production crew here on Yorkshire TV, just run me through your thoughts after that game. A disappointing result for Yorkshire in the end, but they did well to at least claw their way back into it.
Oh, certainly. Plenty of positives. Rhea, obviously. A couple of great catches from Woolley as well. And lots of learnings. But also, I'm just thinking about how crucial this was for Glamorgan in where they sit in sort of Tier 2 next year, going back into Tier 1 like the following year. It's a great run of form for them, and it's a great test for Yorkshire now, and it tells them exactly what they need to prep for next year. And I think Yorkshire are working really well as a team. They're doing everything. If someone's not performing, someone else steps up, and I think that's really important as well.
It is, and of course we've got to look at the bigger picture and the youth development as well. That is a big thing of this League 2 campaign. So yes, it's disappointing for today, but of course the experience for the likes of Ines Blackwell and the young seamers, the young batters, Amelia Oliver will be absolutely crucial heading into the future.
Absolutely, it's great game experience. It's brilliant.
It most certainly is. Well, that is that from Weetwood. A 4-wicket victory for Glamorgan sees them continue their impressive form in the Metrobank One Day Cup and cement their place in the top 2 of the competition. All that's left for me to say here on commentary is a massive thank you to the likes of Charlotte Ashton alongside me, to the ever excellent Michael McCann, to the likes of Dr. Jane Powell, Maroof Khan, and of course Glamorgan head coach Rachel Priest for joining us a little bit earlier on. And of course a massive thank you to all of our wonderful behind the scenes crew, the likes of Nathan, Matt, and all of our cam ops who have done a great job here on Yorkshire Cricket TV today. But that is it from myself, Aaron Viles, from here in Weetwood. Thank you very much for your company, and until next time, we'll see you here on Yorkshire Cricket TV.
Now, wouldn't it be nice to have a little extra money for your holiday? If you buy any used car from the 4th to the 14th of July, we'll give you an extra £500 over and above the amazing deal you'll already get. And if you part exchange by selling us your car too, we'll give you another £500, making a total of £1,000, which is a lot of ice creams, suitcases, beach toys for the dog, or a nicer car to go on holiday in.